Mm. I got you, homie. My brother, my brother.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
What's up? What's up? Woo!
What's going on with you, man? This is
Man, I'm gonna share this on Facebook real quick, man.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yeah, man. Salute to you, man. Shout out to the people in the armed forces, man. I did great. Yeah, I know you had connections when we had a great discussion yesterday.
Oh yeah. I was looking at a couple of your streams when I was catching up as I was running around. Um you know what I'm saying? Like looking, I've been on this computer like all day. Like all day. Just looking at what's happening and everything. Oh, can you hear me pretty good? Yep. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, I think we have some connections. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably throttling the connections and stuff now. They've been doing that.
Yeah.
They've been doing that all week and stuff like that. I've been getting those that information from my friends and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been throttling connections. People that's been in those cities keep you from talking.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I heard too. I'm looking like, yep, that's what they do. I remember Sean James was talking about this. He was going on live expressing his opinions about the whole situation. He was like, yep, I'm having issues for all of a sudden. That's ridiculous. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, man. But shouts out to Gray, man. I was like, okay, this brother was cool, man. He's telling he got a lot of knowledge, man. And I'm gonna get him back on the show. I'll share my stuff, man.
Yeah. I'm a because I usually do a weekly show. Like usually I do it like U.S. time. Basically, I don't really do it Japanese time because most of the people that will pay attention on them their time zones, and I'm speaking in English, so it's,
okay,
that's what it is. But I usually do it around that time, and I do the shows. It's called the 1/3 show. Where I talk about introducing the 1/3 like policy, you know what I'm saying? About that it's that military rule, like you talk about saving the 1/3, but you actually save 2/3, but you know that you have to sacrifice 1/3 to save the whole, right? People are not going to willingly sacrifice themselves for the greater good of everybody else, because a lot of people are just on their own shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, individual mindset. Yeah, but see, and now I'm glad you said something key, because this gonna go into this protest. So I was talking to my uncle. Shout out to him. And I was like, hey, uncle, you going to the downtown Detroit protest? He's like, nah, man. Like, did you know that percent because Chief Craig, he's the chief police down there, and he was like most of the arrests he was in Oklahoma City. So and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Now, who are these people? You get what I'm saying? So, are they trying to burn down or violence in our own place, destroying our
Mm-hmm.
foundation, and they're going to go home to their communities where it's pure and nice. But at the end, or if this is over, we're like, damn, we don't got
Yeah.
nowhere to go. So I'm trying to figure it out. Is this a bait? Are these crisis actors? What the
Mm-hmm.
hell is going over here? Like, are they really cause? Because at the end of the day, you can drive down to the inner city, protest and tear our stuff up, and you're going back over to your families and being okay, secure financially. And we so blind to it because we all in our emotions. So,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to figure out as Black people, are we getting played right now, in your opinion?
Well, if you think about it like this, right? In the last couple of years, right? In the last couple of
Mhm.
years, let's just say the Freddie Gray thing, the brother that got killed over there. If you look at any peaceful protests where police have not been prosecuted, have been prosecuted, you got to look at the underlying factors when these happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nobody has ever prosecuted you didn't see anything happening in you didn't see anything happening in remember North Carolina where the cop shot the black man that was fleeing from him and then he planted the gun on him, like say he tried to take his taser and all that other
Yeah,
stuff,
I
but
remember
the
that.
guy had the videotape.
Mm-hmm.
That investigation was going on for 2 months. The North Carolina Police Department, I think North or South Carolina Police Department, they released the tape.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They released the tape, right? The guy said he was scared for his life to even give the tape up because he thought something was going to happen to him, right? So they gave the tape up and they released they was transparent. Well, why was they transparent? Because they just had the Devin Roof thing happen where he went into a church of black people on a Sunday and shoot up the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they already know they don't want they don't want a riot happening. So they was transparent. So what happens? The officer gets fired. As soon as the tape gets released, the officer gets fired and he gets charged.
Mm-hmm.
Does any protest happen? Does anything happen? Nothing, right? You had the thing in Baltimore when they wasn't trying to charge the officers, right? But what they was complaining about in Baltimore, no one believed them. There was people from out of town coming into Baltimore
Yep.
City, starting stuff, breaking stuff, starting riots, doing
Mm-hmm.
things. Nobody believed them, right?
Yep.
Every other place down in Texas when they had that thing, right? Nobody believed them. Now they caught the guy on tape. You know, if you saw the tape where they caught the guy breaking the AutoZone windows, and he
Yeah,
happened
you
to be an
undercover.
undercover police officer,
Mm-hmm.
right? So why is the undercover police officer breaking stuff? And he was a Minneapolis police officer too. So
Mm-hmm.
he was inciting the riot, right? He was inciting the riot, right? See, a lot of stuff when people riot, they riot, right? But no one talks about when after someone wins a championship where people are burning trash cans, flipping over cars, tearing up the city
Right, it didn't
after they
feel
won a championship. That's
right.
rioting, right? Right?
Right.
This is not rioting. They're trying to say it's rioting and it has no just cause, and that's the media spin on it. But that's not the real thing. This I saw it on Facebook and someone. This is not rioting. This is a revolution because that's what the Boston Tea Party was. Taxation without representation. You throw all the tea into the harbor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's not rioting. That's actually protesting. And there's different forms of protest. Now there's Martin Luther King made up he brought the whole Mahatma Gandhi thing of peaceful, non-violent protests.
Mm-hmm.
Protests are never supposed to be peaceful for them to be effective. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. No protest in the history, no uprising, no rebellion, no anything is ever peaceful. You're never going to get peace without shedding blood. You have to shed blood to
Mm-hmm.
maintain or to get peace. And
It
the only way
reminds
to get peace, yeah.
It reminded me like in the '60s too, like when dogs were sick on African Americans. Montgomery bus boycott. People were getting beat up. I mean, it was really bad. Again, I remember it was one clip. It was a gentleman. He was walking down the street, and they threw some white man just threw a brick, knocked him beside his head. Yeah, and I do agree with
Yeah,
that. Like, it just had to take some violence. You don't have to fight back to get what you want. But I
yeah,
think what people had the definition of, they was looking like, okay, well, we down here, what is the end goal? What we trying to do? Like, we don't have like no type of goal. Like, okay, yeah, we emotional, we mad, I understand that, but
yeah,
what else is gonna lead? Are we gonna keep riding until they convince us like, okay, this all these officers gonna be a first degree murder? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how long this is gonna last, because the Montgomery bus boycott lasted for 13 months. So
right.
I'm trying to figure out, like,
No,
okay, so
like, well, if you think about it, right? Okay, what's the point of a boycott? The point of the boycott is this, right? If you protest and walking down the street, a
mm,
protest is there to disrupt, right? So you're there to disrupt.
mhm.
You're there to disrupt. And if you're there to disrupt, then you know, so you take advantage. So you're watching the protest, right? So if I'm going to work and people are protesting, they're there to disrupt something, right? Now I have the constitutional right, but it's statewide. If they allow me to put in something to say, hey, we're going to protest this day, then the police can wall off stuff, people can see you, and then that's what it is, right?
Mm.
Right? That's what it is, right? But the biggest issue with that is people don't care. They see it all the time, right? Like, think about it. The video came out, right? This man died. The video came out, and they didn't arrest the officers. They just fired them.
They sure
They're
didn't. They
supposed to fire them
turned.
and arrested them. If they would have fired them and charged them with something, negligence. You know what I mean? Long as you arrested them and held them into custody for the city's sake, for their own safety too. Because see, that's the thing, right? See, here's the funny part, right? If a black person's running around and he's doing something like that, right? Let's just say the Somalian officer that shot the white lady. Remember what happened? See, we forget about that, right? The
In a
Somalian
minute,
officer
yeah, I remember that.
that shot the white lady.
Mhm.
Soon as the information, we didn't have a video. We just heard
Mm-mm.
the information. He was
They
fired and
knew it was
arrested.
fire.
You
Mhm.
know he's in jail for 12 and a half years, right?
Yep, and that's when they had the
Right?
new chief out. Yep.
Right? Now, here's the funny part. Somalians are considered black.
Mhm.
So he's a black officer, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, here's the next part of that, right? Here's the next part of that. He was still on the force. So all of that happened, right? So here's the next part that people don't get. In any case where a black person has been killed or accosted or did something by police officers, right? If they do not fire them immediately, that means they're going to get off. They're
Hmm.
going to get off, right? You already know it because if they put them on administrative leave, like the Amber Geiger, she got charged with involuntary manslaughter,
Mhm.
right?
Painful.
The problem with murder one, murder two, is you got to prove intent, right? Murder one is premeditated. That means you had to plan out the murder. Like if me and you were to get in an altercation and I
Mm.
walk away from you, right? And even if I don't state that I'm gonna kill you, but if I walk away from you and I come back with my weapon and kill you, that's premeditated. They can
Mhm.
show premeditation, right? If if me and you get into an argument and I look around and I pick up something and hit you with it, right? They can kind of charge me with premeditation, but usually I get murder too.
Second degree. You're right. Right.
I get
So,
second degree.
what is this? Now, I looked up the third degree murder because this gentleman was charged for third degree murder. Only a few states have it, like Florida has it, Minnesota,
Hmm.
Wisconsin,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. And I'm looking like third degree murder. And so they
That's
was just
less.
basically on the definition deprived of as I guess it's a little lower sentence of someone have a deprived heart, mind, or something like that. So basically, he was just justifying that. Okay, well, George Floyd, he according to the autopsy, George Floyd already, he had coronary artery disease, he had already health issues.
High
So
blood pressure, hypertension. Most black people,
exactly,
most black men between 40 and 65
yeah,
have a high chance of high blood pressure, hypertension, because we're more likely to be stressed out because of life. Like just like most white men got high blood pressure and hypertension and diabetes.
yeah.
But so we can stop that, but it doesn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you caused his heart attack because of the stress that you put on him, then guess what? It's your fault, right? Like if a firefighter comes into a house to save someone,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they or a EMT, right? They even told us, do you know if you're choking, right? Because like I took some EMT courses, right? Because they had a summer program, and I was going to be I wanted to be a firefighter, but they was trying to get us to be EMTs first. So they told us that if you come up to a patient, right, and what is it? Their airway is stuck, and you do the head tilt, chin lift, you got the mask, you're doing the breathing and whatever, you're bagging them and nothing, but you know it's stuck. You have to be licensed to give them a trachea, like to cut them open in the field. Like you have to be a special paramedic to do so. If you save that person's life, and if you go ahead and do that, and yes, they live, they can sue you and actually send you to jail for doing
Mm.
that. If you are a firefighter and you go off protocol to save someone's life, and you cause more injury or more bodily harm, or you cause more people to die, you can go to jail. That does not happen for police officers unless you're white.
Hmm. Well, see, this is the thing too, DeAndre. I bring this back. I don't know if you agree with this. When former President Obama was this a president of this country from 2008 to 2016, it was a lot of police brutality going on. I mean, of course, I know
Oh,
way before then, but I'm just saying, like, for him, because he's supposed to represent the African American community. And the thing is just that the Trayvon Martin, the Eric Gardners, I felt like with the Trayvon Martin, if he would have successfully had appointed the attorney generals, that they would have prosecuted George Zimmerman right then and there, I think that would at least set the foundation, that like, okay, yes, as police officer, people in law enforcement, we're not going to just get away over here and kill black people on low level offenses, because now you understand that President Obama signed that blue alert law that was supposed to protect a lot of law enforcement. So I'm looking like, damn, like, are you for us or against us? You get what I'm saying?
well, the blue alert law came after all of that happened, and then
Yeah.
they had to do going up to New York killing cops.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
They had the
But
two. They had the one in Texas, and then they had the one because he didn't do anything, but he got pressured by the Republicans, because if he didn't sign that law and something else, it was like a deal. Then he couldn't push through Obamacare. Remember, the government shut down. It was like when people bring up things. I'm good with my memory, so when people bring up things, people don't bring up things in context. Now, here's the other thing, and this is how the law works, and people don't understand how the law works. You cannot charge a citizen. The federal government cannot charge a citizen with a crime that he was exonerated on at the state level. See how that works? They can add to the crime, but they can't charge them with it. Even if you were getting federally investigated, they would have to work with local police to do the federal investigation and the surveillance on you and get the warrants with the evidence that they collected to even investigate you on that level, unless it's taxes.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the only workaround. So let me give you a perfect example.
Okay.
Remember the Italian mob? Most of the Italian mob bosses always get caught up on tax evasion and racketeering. Right? Before Prohibition, that wasn't even a charge. Running a criminal enterprise, it all has to do with money. The FBI is the armed forces of the IRS. That is the only sub branch of the government that has unilateral decisions, because guess what? everybody got to pay goddamn taxes. All states in some form or somehow get federal funding, so they have the authority to come into that state no matter what. That's their only circumvention or gray area that they can get into the state. So if it comes into a civil matter between two civilians and it has nothing to do with taxes, the federal government can't do anything because once again, this is the United States of America.
It's corporation. Well,
it's
yeah,
exactly. It's the United States of America, just like the United Kingdoms of of Northern Ireland and Scotland, right? Like everybody say, I'm going to Africa. Africa's a continent. What country are you going to, right?
right.
It's not the United Countries or Kingdoms of Africa. Like it's Africa is a continent. It's not a country.
Then
right?
again, too, it's kind of difficult. You gotta understand where your your bloodline is traces from. Are you part Sudan or Egyptian? Ethiopian or Rwandan, Madagascar. It's so it's and you got some of them too. Like I said, this is from another discussion. But most Africans, when they come down here to America, they're here to compete against us. For the most part. So it's just looking like, like we really. So this is why I was like, in America, we have to. This is our only home. We built this country, but the thing is, I guess so. It's so frustrating because I got to study. I'm gonna study more. You get me inspired to study law a lot more too, because this is one of my main reasons why I decided to join the military, so I can get that exposure, serve my country, and run for Congress one day. And so my thing is like, why is the fact that it's like it's so hard for us to really have the United States Constitution work in our favor?
It's not hard, right? The Constitution is just a foundation for the country. It's a federal document, right? Right. So let me give you a perfect example. If the Constitution worked for you, and if everybody had to uphold the Constitution of the United States no matter what, when the Emancipation Proclamation of slavery was put into place, then why did black people, you know what I'm saying, why did black people have to, how should I say it, march for freedom, right? If you're already getting these rights, why aren't they giving it to you? Well, because you have to get it on the state level, right? Federal. Okay, where's the federal government located? In Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia. Guess what? If you vote in any federal election or state election, it means absolutely nothing because guess what? Washington, D.C. is within the confines of the state of Maryland. So the state of Maryland has jurisdiction outside of that district, right?
True.
What other country in the world have you ever been in where the capital does not have rights of the vote of the people that are voting? They hold all the political power, all the representatives from all across the country, but they don't have political power in the people. You know why they do that? You know why the forefathers did that? Because they didn't want the capital running rapshaw over the citizens so the citizens can do it. It was a stopgap measure.
Okay.
Right? Now, here's the crazy part. If you look at the Electoral College, right, most of the representatives that come out of the Electoral College, even if there's in a state where black people are, most black people and minorities are subjugated to the main cities. The main cities don't have that many representatives, but the state does. So when you get outside of the main cities and it's more whiter and whiter and whiter, they're going to go with their constituents, even if they're Democrats, even if they're Republicans, even if whatever party they are, right? Independent, and you get very small, minute,
very little, like libertarian,
right? Libertarian, all that stuff, but they're going with their white contingent. So why doesn't the Constitution of the United States work for us? Because the Constitution of the United States is not a blanket thing. It's just a foundation on which each state can build on. They can't go below the Constitution, but they can add into it, right? They add caveats. Like just in the military, right? They can always charge you with that one article, right? Like, disobeying a lawful order. Like, even if you did everything right, you still did something because you couldn't come see me. But it's called what? Non-judicial punishment, right? That means it's up to the person in charge to mitigate the punishment, right? So here's another question that I like to ask people. Oh, salute to Black Pill Paradise. Europe.
Which one? Yo,
And
man,
CRU.
brother.
Yeah, CRU reality. What's going on?
Yeah.
But this is the other thing that I like to say, right?
Mhm.
The military does not have a union. They don't have a union, right?
Like a workers' union, you mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Military
yeah,
don't have, right?
yeah.
I'm like, you work along next to GS employees and stuff like that. They don't have
Mhm.
a union. They don't have a union.
Mm.
Federal employees do not have a union.
That's
FBI
interesting.
agents don't have a union.
So
U.S.
usually like state
Marshals,
jobs do.
so
Yeah.
U.S. Marshals don't have it either, right?
Mhm.
Right? Even state troopers don't have a union,
Mhm.
right? State troopers don't have a union. But why do police officers have a union? Oh, because they're a privately funded militia.
Mm.
Privatized security for each city. Remember, why do you have city police and state police?
State police.
State
Right.
police are state and federally funded, right? Because a lot of states don't own their own highways. They get federal funding to maintain those highways and services for civics, right? Now, why are city police? Why can this guy, right? I was stationed in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand this, right? Because I'm from Baltimore, right? So I never understood this. Because in Maryland, if your license is suspended in Baltimore, it's suspended in the whole state, no matter what. But in Virginia, if your license is suspended in Norfolk, you're good in Newport News, Virginia
Everywhere
Beach,
else.
everywhere else, right? But you
Yeah.
got a Virginia license, right? So Norfolk Police Department have their own database. You know what I'm saying? The only time it goes statewide is when you have a felony, right? When you have a felony conviction. Like even a warrant for your arrest only stops at that city. So if you don't go in that city, well, because you're in the Commonwealth. So each state has their own different jurisdiction and laws. So say you have a federal investigation. You're in Norfolk. You move to Newport News or you move to Virginia Beach. Guess what they got to do? They got to rerun and do everything else. So that's why you see a lot of criminals try to escape down south, because a lot of southern states are commonwealths. They have different jurisdictions, different this, that, and the third, right? So when you look at that, the Constitution of the United States did not fail you, right? What fails you is that you don't have any political power at the state level, at the city level. That's the problem. That's the issue, right? And police officers should not have unions because that's what protect them, right? Unions are like its own mafia within itself, right? Like you can, like a black person is least likely to make the police force or least likely to make rank because of the police union that's ran by the Irish or depending on where you're at. In Minneapolis, it's the Italians and the Germans. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, it is. That's wow.
Yeah.
That's how that is though, man. Because I remember Gray when I was talking to him, interviewing him yesterday. He was just saying like as African Americans getting more into more professional careers, more like lawyers, doctors, or something that's of weight, and that that's more like I guess like a WB Du Bois approach. But I see where he was coming from, but the way that you explain, like how like the city police are actually funded, privately. It's just like damn, like we have to kind of it's hard to reverse that because I was talking to my friend, he's in armed services too, and he was just stating that the best way as we since we're doing this looting, these protesting, it would be great to actually find a way to sue them, like sue their insurance companies, hit them in their pockets. And I was thinking like that makes sense because in a way, like you said, they're the union, they're not gonna really have the police officers out in the streets like that and risk their lives without no type of insurance. So I was looking like that's a little good incentive, and I was like, okay, just little things like that. And then he would say, then you going in, we invest and we participate in ourselves. Like T.I., he advocated for that blackout on July 7th, which I think is a good deal because we have a good spending power as African Americans. And so he was just saying, like, you withhold your money and you start connecting and networking with individuals in your community to have that money circulating in your own community. And I was just looking like, those are like some of the solutions that we can kind of, utilize. But I just wondering, like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, far as like, going back to suing insurance companies and stuff.
I would say this, right? Here's the issue with that, right? When you sue somebody, it costs money, right? And if you don't win and they countersue you because you didn't prove it, you got to pay their legal fees, and then that insurance company has an arm of your lawyers, right?
Right.
So you're not going to beat the unions because the unions are lobbying the politicians. Right, the police unions. I'm like, you even saw the president. He's all backing the police and stuff because they're the ones voting for him. Because if you get one police precinct to vote for you, you got all the police precincts. Remember, the police union is national. It's a national union. They're interconnected. How many police precincts are there throughout the country?
It's about 18,000. I heard
18,000. Like, think about it. Think about it. They took out the 3rd precinct and they just moved back to the 8th. And like, come on now, like it's like multiple military bases in your own country, right? So what are you going to do? They have the guns, they have the training, and then they have the power. Think about it. The average police officer nationally makes $55,000 to $60,000 a year.
True. Yep.
Right? $55,000 to $60,000 a year. Right? That's how much they make. Now, if they make that much, and let's just say their union fees per month, let's just say $30. Right? So you got 18,000 police precincts. Let's just multiply that by 300. With a $30, I'm just throwing a number out here that's low enough that you can grasp. But let's say a $30 union fee per month. How much lobbying power is that? You get $30 for about over 150,000 people per month in a calendar year. And since it's a union, it's a nonprofit organization because it's for the people. They're not making money off of it. It's for the people. So they can unilaterally move that money however way they wish and lobby whatever do to keep them so they can keep cracking you over the skull. And it's also funded a lot of times and backed by white supremacists. Come on, man. Let's really sit up here, right? And they're going to get insurance by who? Oh, a company the insurance company that's going to actually back the white supremacists, right? So if you really think about this, it's like this you're in this rabbit hole of foolery and debauchery. And then the black police officers that are there, they can't really say anything because guess what? They might go on a call and not get no backup and get shot.
Well,
they might get shot undercover, right? They're an undercover cop and they get shot.
Yeah, right? You said something critical because my dad was he used to be DPD police officer 10 years and saying some stuff. Yeah, I mean, you see some things. I mean, like I said, they had this close like a union, like stuff wrong, but they can't really say it. Like I said, when we was growing up and everything, they had to protect us. Because there's people out there, higher powers, like, okay, you snitch on, you tell on that type of stuff in court. They get, they're gonna try to retaliate. I remember when I was in the jury and stuff like that. That was happening. I was like, man, it's really crazy. But you're right on that, man. And that's why people used to say, like, why the black cops ain't speaking up? They can't. I mean, unless you got some that do. Don't get me wrong, you got some that do, but it's a large amount of them. Like, dang, man, this gonna mess with my livelihood and my protection. It's like. Where can I go? And it's sad though, man. It's just I don't know, man. It's because I remember my stepmom was saying like all this stuff was going on way before then. It's just now like we's able to see it. It's recorded.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody got a camera. Like everybody's got it. But see, here's the thing that trips me out, right? Because I was thinking in my head, okay, all of y'all was recording this dude dying.
Yeah.
And nobody went over there and push the officer off them. But then you got to think about it, right? If they're willing to do that right in front of you while you're recording, then if they get you in the back of that van, you dead. They're gonna write up some report, said you did something, and it's whatever. So now the citizen can't go in there and actually keep the guy accountable, right? You know what I'm saying? So they had to watch this man die, and this man sitting there watching his last gasping breaths of people recording him dying as he's like, would he look at what would have been the difference if that officer was sitting there and let's just say he was out on a safari and there was like a lion and he was taking a picture with a lion, right? Because this stuff has always been recorded. It just came from the white supremacist side where they would like take pictures hanging black men or stuff like that. They've done it. It's just now it's coming from the public. They're like, what are you doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what people don't understand and they're talking about this because I had a lot of people saying, man, this ain't right. Y'all burning businesses. Y'all doing this. Y'all doing that and stuff like that. Well, most of the businesses that are being burned are not owned by black folk.
Exactly. I discovered that. I actually researched that. That's not. So
I'm like,
really,
a McCormick and like it's a steakhouse. There ain't no black person that I know that I've heard of that owns one of those McCormick steakhouses.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of stuff like pawn shops. Black people don't own pawn shops no more. The last time black people done owned pawn shops was back in like the 80s, late 90s. Those have been taken over by different folk, like, you know, Middle Eastern people, immigrants. Like, we don't own businesses in our own community, but here's the funny part. How many Targets are in black neighborhoods?
Ooh. I can't recall. I have to go out to the outer city, man, to go to a Target. That's crazy. They either in like in area. Yeah, that's interesting.
Right.
But see, and that's why it goes back. I feel like we need to invest in our own self. But thing is too, we've been so I won't say program. Well, maybe I guess program, but
I would say numb.
As black people, you know, we of course we come from different, you know, we might grow up in the same community, but we had different morals. And like when you come up, you might be like, man, forget these niggas, man. I'm gonna go ahead and just do what I got to do, and then you get comfortable with other races of people, and so it might be kind of very difficult for you to have a paradigm shift. Like, okay, let me go ahead and invest in my own people. And my stammer said something really good. She was just saying like something basic, like customer service needs to be a little bit better for black owned businesses. We take that for granted because you got. I'm more victim of this sometimes. If I'll be like, hey, I know it's a black business. I know it's a business, black business that sells soap over here. So black business sells soap. But I'm not gonna go over there because, you know, I mean, I don't feel like dealing with the rudeness of the people that work there, you know. So I decide to like, okay, I don't want to deal with the rudeness of the people who work there. So let me go ahead and just go somewhere else where I feel a little bit more comfortable. This Chinese area, you know. And that's the thing. We gotta. It's just. I think it's a lack of trust with us too. But
I'm gonna say this, right? Because and I totally agree with you. Yeah. I totally agree with you. You know, but here's the issue, right? It should be a business that happens to be owned by a black person, right? That's the ideology, right? So let me put it to you like this. The problem is that okay. There's a Chinese carryout, Chinese restaurant, right? Right. There's no Chinese restaurants in the hood. They're carryouts. You get your food and you get out.
Yeah.
Right. But when you go to an upper neighborhood, right, another neighborhood, there are restaurants, right? Now, there's a Chinese restaurant in every demographic of neighborhood across the country. There's some type of Latino food, right? You know, tacos, you know, burritos, whatever. There's a truck here. There's a truck outside of there. You know what I mean? There's Indian restaurants all over the place and stuff like that. Where's the soul food restaurants in the white neighborhoods?
No soul food restaurants.
You know why? Because when we make something, we don't want other people involved or actually partaking in the stuff that we make. And even in the black people that actually sell those goods and services, we shame them too. So if we got the lowest percentage of wealth in the United States as minority, as minorities and stuff, right? If we got the lowest percentage of wealth, then you can't make money, right? You can't make money. You can't make wealth. Or anything like that. You can't make money. You can't make wealth. If you yourself are only selling to your own people. You have to actually bring money into the community by having other cultures transverse and come into your community, or transverse and come into your franchise, and actually get that money by hiring your own. We were talking about Cerulean was talking about, he was doing his live stream. He does them once a week. And
Okay.
and we was looking at the New York Post on how they were talking about, because of the COVID-19, the Asian community's unemployment rate went up by 2,000%. 2,000%, right? Why is that? Because people are not going to their restaurants. Guess who employs Asians? Other Asians, right? So they had the lowest unemployment rate, and this is 3 months. They put 3 months of before COVID and 3 months after COVID and showed you the uptick. They are actually applying for more unemployment than black folk. How is that? Whoa, what do you mean? Wait a minute. Why should you get unemployment? Because a lot of you that work in those restaurants are immigrants, and you're not paying taxes anyway. Unemployment comes from you paying employment tax.
That's
off
true.
of your check. You're not paying that. You're getting paid from Uncle Wong underneath the table, because Uncle Wong, business is not paying. He's not paying business tax. So why you get to sit on the titty of the black folk, the white folk, and the Latino that was born here or immigrated here, and he didn't get, he was paying taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like what? But then when we got a dude sitting on a dude's neck, y'all was crying about discrimination. Y'all ain't crying now. Where's that?
Yeah.
Right. The immigrant is the black.
Let me ask you, because I know you was gonna go into that detail. Because do you think like immigrants is a way to is replacing African Americans?
Yeah, the immigrant is the African American 2.0. Right. Right.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on, give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Shouts out to everybody on Facebook. I've been following you guys too. Shout out to my boy Marcel. I know he watching. Salute to you. Good friend of mine. Shouts out to Norland, Lamar Sanders. Y'all share this, man. Thank y'all for actually tuning in. It's a good brother of mine, just DeAndre. Let me see. I don't need anybody else watching right now. Shout out to Black Pill Paradise. Feel me. Go upstairs real quick. Right back. Okay. All right. Let's see here. So Sonny Gray, appreciate you, man, Mr. Gray, for sharing this video. It means a lot. It means a lot to me. Really appreciate that. Play some commercial break.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
All right, bro. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. And so, and yeah, I'm probably gonna refrain from that. But yeah, I really kind of agree with you on that part. It's yeah, just immigrants are there to replace us and everything. Because I feel like, you know, and don't get me wrong, I mean, they may be working jobs that we normally don't want to work. And I'm not trying to, make any
Oh, I'm
excuses.
not talking about them. I'm not like
You're talking about equal rights.
yeah, no, I'm not talking about them. I'm
Okay.
not talking about them. Like they're just trying to eke out a whatever, right? Because I'm gonna put it to you like this:
Yeah.
most immigrants that come over here, right? Let's just say our Latino people, right?
Right.
Most immigrants that come over here, they build their own communities. They stay within their own communities. I'm talking about the
Right.
Latino people, right? Or the
Yeah.
people, you know what I mean? Like the people that are refugees. They stay in their own communities, and then a second or third generation, they'll integrate themselves into white society, right?
True.
Like most immigrants, if you look at Latinos like second, third generation or whatever, they'll actually identify as white. Look at Marco Rubio.
Yeah, see, I get what you're saying. They can use that little, like the privilege and everything, bro. That's crazy though.
Because once they get lighter and lighter, they can actually cross over, right? But they actually make their own businesses. They'll make their landscaping businesses. They'll do this, they'll do that. So they instantly get off of the quote unquote proverbial government titty, right? And you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, right? What I'm talking about is the immigrants that come over here from the continent that look like us and use our privilege and also their immigrant status as a dual whammy, and then look down at us and say y'all are lazy, this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. Now, here's the thing, right? If they come over here from the continent, right, and they buy a $300,000 house, you just flew over, right? A visa costs $3,000, right? You are married to your wife. You didn't get married to a U.S. citizen. So you paid for you, your wife, and your 3 kids to come over here, right? So you being from a certain place in Africa, you got to actually pay more. So per person, you're paying $5,000 to $8,000. Then you can buy the $300,000 house cash. And your Nigerian dollar or whatever it's called is trash. You got to pay more than that. So that $300,000 home turned into an $800,000 home for you and your money. So that means you already got money. Plus, you already got a network of people that are businesses and doctors. So then you're talking about the black people that's been here suffering that you helped sell away to the white people 400 years ago from your ancestors and telling us we're lazy, but your country don't got running water and a sewage system in it.
Well, yeah, and I think it's more for lack of like I said, a lack of the education of what they of Black America, like the stuff that we went through. That's all that is. Because I've worked with some of them before, and I'm not saying all of them.
Not all of them. I'm talking about a few.
The ones they be looking like, because the reason why we achieve, because we work hard. I've been in this country for 5 years, and I'm able to do this and do that. You've been here all your life. You didn't achieve what I achieved. You got those, and this is it creates that friction.
That's what white supremacy. What we call it is that it's the coon, it's the house 2.0, well 3.0, right?
Right.
So, but you got to realize, I had to talk with one of them. Man, you could have went to college. I said, hold on, let me ask you a question. Did you go to college when you got to America? Are you first, second, or third generation? Well, I immigrated here. Okay. Did you already have your degree when you got here? Well, yeah, but I had to go to because you had to get certified, because you had to get your degree is not recognized, right? But a lot of those credits, transferred over, right? So you just had to get the degree in the study that you were already in. So you already went to college before you got here.
Right.
Is that correct? You say, yeah. Okay, so if you already went to college before you got here, then everything that you're doing after the fact is remedial work. So you're just sitting in class, and see, you don't got to stay on campus. Plus, you're an immigrant, right? You're a foreign exchange student, right? So you're taking my minority seat already, right? The system that are holding you back in your country isn't white people, it's you. But you're a part of the system because you're on the top percentage of the system, because you can leave your country and come over to my country. I say, do you see that disparity, right? Now do you go to talk to the people in your country and tell them they're not applying themselves? You've been here your whole life? Because no, when you woke up, you was already in money,
Yeah,
right? So you're
exactly.
telling me I got all these resources and I'm not using them. No, I can't use them because the system is designed for me to not to use them, but the
Exactly.
system is designed for you to use them.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest disparity right there that a lot of them don't understand. I feel like a lot of these HBCUs were created from us, and and when a lot of I think O'Shea Jackson was saying like a lot of people people from the Caribbean and other countries they come in and go to Howard, go to the HBCUs and stuff like that, man. So you won't be able to have those opportunities if it wasn't for our ancestors working their tail off and having these different type of meetings, man, to get us in positions, man. Because in that particular time, like I say, after slavery, we had to go and build. We had to really rebuild our civilizations.
well, here's the crazy part, right?
Mm-hmm.
When people asked me, they was like, "Hey, man, I wanted to go to Morehouse, right? I had
Yeah,
this thing, man. I saw School Days, man. I saw the thing, man. I wanted to be a Q, and I wanted to go to Morehouse, right?
yeah.
And when I applied for Morehouse, right, both my parents passed, so I got a partial scholarship. Like I had the SAT scores, I was in the National Honor Society, man, and everything. And they said to me, Morehouse said this to me. They said this to me. They said, we do not give full scholarships to people out of state.
Mm.
We don't do it, right? I said, okay. The University of Western Maryland offered me a full scholarship, right? That's white people country, right?
That's
Uh, Virginia offered me like it was like Northern Virginia or something offered me a full scholarship. That's not my state. Norfolk State offered me a full scholarship. Hampton U offered me a full scholarship, right? Washington, George Washington College, which I didn't know that was actually an Ivy League college, and I should have went there, but I didn't go to college. I went in the military. Either way, it works out for me, right? But I didn't have to pay for nothing in the state of Maryland because I'm considered an orphan. I would have got a full ride, University of Maryland, everything, no problem. But I
mm.
just wanted to leave Maryland, period. I just wanted to
Yeah.
get away from the Mid Atlantic, go somewhere else, start another life, get
Right.
new
Fresh
experiences and stuff
start.
like that, right?
Mhm.
But if someone told me today, hey man, should I go to a HSBC, a traditionally black college? I tell them no. And you know
Mm.
why I tell them no? I said, do you know what those colleges were for? All those colleges are named after slave masters that had half kids that couldn't go to the white schools. That's what they were for. They were the separate but equal college,
Mm.
right? Like, what prominent CEO do you know of any Fortune 500 company that went to Morehouse?
No problem seeing, but I know. Well, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I know like
Yeah,
because I know personally some people who went to Morales actually worked for those 400 companies. But you saying as far as like a just an owner, yeah.
owner. I'm like, even if they worked, I'm talking about the CEO, the CFO,
Mhm.
in the upper echelon of making the business decisions of the daily business. Here's the
Yeah,
thing, right? I wanted to be a Q. Black fraternities don't do jack for you.
that's what I heard. Yeah, I never experienced any like black fraternities. I heard Asafa, Alpha Chi, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, but they
You
don't
know,
they don't do nothing for you. They don't do.
yeah.
But if you look at those regular Greek fraternities,
Mhm.
they do a lot.
So okay, let me ask you this because I never really went to a university, so I'm kind of inexperienced on that. So like, can you explain like more like because from what I heard, like I know like Yale University, they got the skull and bones, all that type of stuff, and they got the
Skullduggery. Skull.
yeah
It's called skullduggery. Um,
skullduggery. Okay,
yeah. The skull and bones like Yale, Harvard,
right.
Princeton. It's called skullduggery, right? Skullduggery is the secret societies that run different facets of the infrastructure of America and your political landscape. So all presidents of the
Okay.
United States is a part of a secret society and a different faction within that secret society that is a part of the skullduggery for the political faction.
Makes
Like
sense.
Barack Obama went to Harvard.
Yes.
He's a member of the skullduggery. It's a rite of passage. It's just like if you want to be a part of a society,
Mm.
a secret club that's going to actually help you in life professionally, and you ain't going to college, be a Mason. Be a Mason.
Now,
Be a Mason.
see, now, damn, we going all over the place here. Woo-wee. Okay, so just DeAndre, because because I'm a Christian and everything. We have a different relationship to Masons. But let me say this. Let's go in this. So I see a lot of brothers. It's white people as well. Don't get me wrong. But
And
I'm just
you know what? You know what? I wish I had a Hennessy bottle around here. No. I got a Hennessy glass. Let me explain something to you, right? People don't realize when they
yeah.
talk about stuff. Christianity, the Templars and the Christianity are
Mm.
actually the foundation, the building blocks of the Masons.
Well, yeah, I
Right, right.
that
So,
they were
so
they were
if
building
you're
things. Yeah.
if you're a Christian, right?
Mhm.
If you look at Christianity, if you go to any of those prominent pastors, preachers in the black community, in the white
Mhm.
community, right? You walk into their study, they got a Masonic symbol there.
I always wondered that because I'm looking like, bro, it's because I try to talk to her brother. I try to get a brother on here to interview him about me. So I mean, I can't reveal their secrets and stuff. But I'm just looking like,
Yeah,
I
there's
guess
certain
it's
things
to
you can't
help
talk
them. Yeah, but I'm just saying, I guess it's supposed to help them. Like, I guess is it a benefit, like just to be like in society in a way? I can't really explain.
about.
It's supposed to help them economically and actually get higher connections and networks. I know 33 degrees. That's one of the highest.
Yeah, no one's listen. 33 degrees is one of those unattainable things, right? It's like reaching nirvana. It's like being in Hinduism and going to sagehood and all that other stuff,
Oh,
right?
that's yeah.
Like 33 degree, the reason why they say 33 degree is a perfect divisible number by the universe, body, mind, body, soul, and spirit, right? So what it is perfect balance, right? Because if you take the three and the three and you put the three in right next to each other, then you get
Mhm.
an eight. You turn the eight sideways and it means infinity, perfect balance, right? But if a universe is perfectly balanced all the time, then that means there's no growth and no evolution and it sucks in on itself. So that's what the 33 degrees mean. That's why
Mhm.
the three's reversed, right? So when people don't understand stuff, they demonize stuff and move stuff to certain things, right? Every society, every club, right? Give you a perfect example. You're in the military. I was in the military. I'm a
Mhm.
veteran, right? If I would have did my 20 years, I'd be in a different club of being a veteran, and I would have got I get like more
Mhm.
benefits after
Yes.
that. But being a veteran, I get benefits, right? You know what I'm saying? Just being a veteran. Every year they're passing legislation that veterans get more stuff. Like they made it so that I can use the Next Online right now or the PX or the whatever because I was a
Mhm.
veteran with an honorable discharge, right? So I can get a VA loan. VA loan is probably like the lowest cost loan you could ever get, but I had to sacrifice something. I did my 8 years. I, signed a check to the country of the United States for my life. And in return, if I come back, I get certain benefits, right?
Yeah.
That is a secret society, right? And because there are certain secrets in the military that you're not going to reveal, or civilians, even though the lingo, they're not going to understand it. Now, within the military, I could say in the branch of the Navy, everybody that I know that need to make rank from E5 to E6, they become a
Mhm.
damn Mason, right?
Mm.
Right? Now, if that's happening, now this is in the military. Now I went to the Philippines. First time in the Philippines. I'm on liberty with this white dude, right? He said, "Man, we ain't got to pay for nothing." So what you talking about? We ain't got to pay for nothing.
Right.
In the Philippines, we got to pay for everything. It's cheap, right? He said, "Nah, we got to pay for nothing." Okay, we get in cab, right? He date Filipinos and stuff, so I know the mafia is strong, right? We in Asia, Filipino mafia is strong, right? He shows his Masonic ring. We get out the cab, we don't pay. He take us to the hotel, right? We pay for the hotel, then we go to this village and they run a whole feast and everything, right? He
Mm.
shows the village chief comes out there, Masonic ring. Masons, a lot of them. Guess what? The Philippines are split between the Masons, the Christians, and the Muslims, right?
Mm.
But guess what? There's Masons on both sides. The Masons are the builders of society and the architecture thereof. In the police precincts, guess what?
That's
They're
amazing.
Masons.
Well, even the judges and
Masons.
lawyers, they are. Yeah, it's
Masons.
yeah. That's interesting.
Masons. That's the skullduggery part. The judges, Masons, certain
Yeah.
degrees, they go up. Secret societies, certain things, right? So it works. That's if you're looking for that, right? Now we're
Mm.
talking about the skullduggery, right? The skullduggery are your politicians, your movers and shakers, your people that are moving these big corporations. And this is why I say people don't understand that college fraternities they do a selection. You have to have some type of special talent. You
Mm.
notice most athletes are in a fraternity,
Most, yes.
right? Got to have a
Yeah.
special talent, right? They're in a certain fraternity. Most actors or actresses or ballerinas, dancers, people that are in the fine arts, if they go to an artistic school or college, they're in some type of fraternity, right?
Mm.
These quote unquote exclusive fraternities are ran by white people. They call them Greek fraternity, traditional Greek fraternities, right? These are the backbone of society. Why Greek? Because we're a democratic society. We are a republic. So you basically take on your ancestors and you build that as the foundation of your society. You have to have people in back reaches of society for us to be as a people. You can't do the things that we've been doing the front way. We have to be covert and do a lot of stuff. I'm not afraid of overt racism. What I am afraid of is the covert racism. It took people rioting, marching, holding up traffic, burning down businesses in white
Mm.
communities, mind you, white communities, to actually have this guy get arrested after they got fired.
And that's the thing. Why it has to get down to, you see,
Why not?
yeah,
Why
you
not?
know, and that kind of just makes me, makes me very angry though, because I know some people, a person that was saying, man, they kind of scared to do certain things, and they afraid, like, police gonna stop them, all that type of stuff. Even they're minding their own business. I know the whole Ahmaud Arbery, I covered that as well. That was completely wrong.
Mhm.
People take the law in their own hands, harassing their brother. He lost his life, and it's just goes to show you that sometimes, I'd be feeling like no matter what you do, like if you're a professional person, it just seems like they're gonna still target you because of your skin color and
Of
because they
course.
know they can get away with it. You get them. It's just weird. Like it's sad. It's really sad though.
Let me ask you a question. Right?
Mhm.
When you watch these people on social media, right, and they
Yeah.
say some off the wall stuff,
Yes.
right, and someone catches the quote, they put it up, right, or they actually address the person directly. Hey, you said such and such. I don't care. I said what I said. So what? Okay, cool. Then that person takes said quote and then contacts their place of employment. The place
Mhm.
of employment then makes a statement. That person then wants to apologize but then they want to um explain themselves, right? For better terms, right? I'm an
Yeah.
ignorant explain myself. Ignorant explaining, right? Ignorant explaining, right? I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm not really racist. No, no, no. You didn't made a whole diatribe. No
Right.
one volunteered your thought processes on this. You got on a post and said what you said.
Right.
You made a post and said what you said, right? That's why I made a statement on Facebook yesterday and I said, hey, you right there. Racism is showing, tuck it in,
It's
right?
messy.
Like
Yeah.
because people can feel the way they feel, but then there's no consequences for their actions.
Hmm.
I asked someone, I said, you want to stop a lot of this craziness, right? Um, the LGBTQ community or the alphabet community, because I don't want to say it the wrong way. You can't say certain words on YouTube or you'll get blocked and banned, right? Referring to them, right?
Right.
You can't talk about people that are Jewish.
And you can't be anti-Semitic. Can't do none of that. Yep.
Can't do none of that, right? But last
Yeah.
time I checked, when the last Jewish person got marched off to a gas chamber?
Right.
When the last Jewish person you saw got murdered? I do not see anyone storming the beaches of
Not in this
Florida
country.
I'm like, I don't see an air raid siren coming from Russia, the UK. I don't see France. I don't see none of them jumping in their planes, flying over to the United States of America and dropping paratroopers doing and storming Washington D.C. for the freedom of black folk. Because we've been getting Holocaust and accosted for 400 years, known and documented. Known and documented. I don't see near Jewish person standing up and saying that. I don't see near LGBTQYXRZ identify as a I don't listen, but we have to lay the groundwork for protests, but everybody else benefits off of our backs. So then when we get tired of it and say, yo, when y'all gonna do something about it?
It's like I said, it's that many generation are being provoked. I mean, think about it. I was like I said, when I had a conversation with Greg, I was it brought my heart. It reminds me of Fred Hampton, things that he did in the 60s, man, for the people in Illinois, you know, educating children, waking up 6 in the morning, educating children about their history and stuff. And he was really more into education. He had an opportunity to go to law school. You know, he was from Summit and everything, but he understood, like, you know, during the civil rights movement, you know, his people was like kind of suffering from injustice, so he did everything he could. Of course, you know, he got killed infiltrated by the FBI and everything in his area where he lived in. And I'm just thinking, like, you know, we're gonna need more warriors. It may take you know, it may be some lives that's going to be affected. We can't sit back, you know, and be passive, but we want to get some things done. I feel like, you know,
I'm gonna say this, right? As a military person, where you said, man, it shouldn't, you know, I feel bad that it takes this. And I'm like, man, why are you surprised? You're in the military. Like, listen, in the history of the world, in the history of the military, through warfare, you have never ever in your life seen no one do anything to change the oppressor by peacefully walking around and marching.
You gotta fight. Yeah.
Right? It's not gonna happen. It ain't never happened. It ain't happening no wars. Listen, if we would have went to Vietnam and them Vietnamese people would have said, please leave, please leave, please leave, flame on, drop them napalms on them on one Bob. Like one's like the Korean War. They still at war.
Yeah, I know. What I was saying was, I do believe, like I said, I know we gotta go ahead and fight and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, it's starting to take. I just don't want us to take to the point like, okay, they just slaughtering us, literally like lining us up and slaughtering us. Now we gonna wake up and do something. You get what I'm saying? Like, we gotta like.
They've been doing. Listen, I'm gonna say like this, right? I'm gonna say like this.
Yeah.
At one point in time in America, black people outnumbered white folk.
Okay.
At one point in time, this was during slavery. It's not a coincidence that black folk, their numbers dwindled down to 18%. Right?
Yeah.
So when they talk about the minority, they don't talk about the minority in population, because we're the minority in population, but they talk about the minority in power. We're the minority in power, right? So if we're outnumbered by white people, because they take up 56% of the country. You notice all of this racial stuff only comes out during a federal election, really?
I'm sorry, repeat that again.
Like, you notice all of the racial stuff only comes out during a federal election.
Yeah, for the most part.
Right? Now, why is that? Remember the sister that died in her house because the police got the wrong address.
That's warrant and stuff. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. Third time a black person that died in their house because some police person that got the wrong address.
I'm looking like, you knocking on my shit, coming in the door. Yeah, I'm gonna defend myself. It's just,
but let me put it like this: if you have a no-knock warrant and you kick in the door, right? If you got a no-knock warrant and you kick in the door, for you to get a warrant, you had to been doing surveillance. So you're telling me that you knew the house that you were going to do surveillance, but you didn't know the address? Are you telling me out of the 6 people that raided that house, nobody could read? Like,
Oh, this the wrong house, man. We gotta. He just
Yo,
proceeded to go in for it.
like, yo, he said Atlanta just yeah they just
Oh, oh.
oh,
Shout out to Black. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Thank you, man. It's a lot of people coming in. Thank you guys for coming in here. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get to your comments. Black introvert. That's something. I'm gonna have to make a video about this after this. Dang, that's 3 videos in one day, man. Rolling.
yeah
ATL was. Yeah, man. ATL was just issue a mandatory curfew. We got to talk about that. I got to get you
yeah
on this. Get you on this panel, man, because I'm in the ATL right now. I'm visiting my folks right
yeah.
now.
It's just like in Baltimore. It's just like, hey, what's up, Shadra? What's going
Oh,
on?
John. Okay, okay. There's a reason why they limit our population to kill us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up, Mike Steffi? A lot. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
they
doing
ride.
so. Okay.
Yeah, they ride it in Philly. Yeah,
You know,
they doing it. Like they
just
doing it in Baltimore too.
I'm not trying to get off subject or anything, but
Yeah,
I was really kind of down a little bit because I was getting overwhelmed. I was like, man, I don't even know I would still keep doing this YouTube stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just so overwhelming just listening to the news and reporting stuff, and I was just getting emotionally drained. But then again, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep going. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Sometimes this is what I do. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Right. Like on social media, I'll get it there. I'll like a post. I'll say something funny every now and
Yeah.
then on Facebook, or something like that or whatever. But I've noticed for the last couple of days, I've been really going ham, right? And I
Yes.
was second guessing myself because man, like I don't live in the States. Like
Yeah,
my
you don't really have to say anything if you don't want to.
yeah, I don't have to say anything if I don't want to because I don't have to deal with it. My run-ins with police, listen, white people get accosted by police than I do in Japan.
I
They
was gonna
can't
ask
do
you
anything
that,
to me.
right? Do they stereotype black people in Japan?
No, I'm like, yo, they listen. They don't like if a Japanese listen, if the Japanese police walk up to you, they asking you for your ID because
Right.
they want to make sure you're not overstayed. And most of the times, the only people that they kind of go at is usually the brothers from the continent, right? And Latinos. You know what I'm saying? So because I'm dark and I got dreads, and I hang around them, of course, they ask me. But as soon as they ask me, I say, hey, what's up? Oh, okay, let me, oh, you American? You good. And they'll walk off. They'll walk off, right? They'll walk off, or I'll just show them my ID. Okay, no problem. Here you go. Right? You know what I'm saying? But white people, they're not used to that. What are you doing? Why I have my rights. Like, what are you doing? And they don't and then they, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" And then they make it worse than what it is, and then they be
Mm.
like, "Can you believe that?" Yeah, I can believe it. It happens to me in America all the time.
Right, right. You looking like okay.
Why
Well,
you resisting?
shit.
Why you resisting? Why don't you just follow the officers? And Japanese officers are really polite,
Okay.
right? They have a rule in Japan. If they got listen, it was this guy, right? Like, have you heard about the thing that happened in Akihabara like years ago? The guy went crazy. Japanese guy went crazy. He
Mhm,
got a car and was hitting people in the intersection in Akihabara, right?
mhm.
Then he crashed the car, got out the car, and start stabbing people.
Oh
Ah,
my goodness.
stabbing people, right? The EMTs came to help the people. He started stabbing them. The police came. He stabbed two police officers. They took him to the ground, but they didn't shoot him. Right? In Japan, they don't even have like they have the weapons, but their sidearms are still six shooters. If they have to use their weapon, their gun, right? They feel like they failed their job as a police officer.
Now, how did they develop that culture though? You get what I'm saying? Like,
Well, they didn't. Well, remember, like, you know what I'm saying? One, everybody can't have a gun. Like, you can't, you got to have a reason why you got a gun. It's in the country and you got to live near bears, right? You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Two, it's that they keep the citizens safe, right?
mm,
They understand because they're homogeneous. You see what I'm saying? That they're
right.
homogeneous, right? So that's how it is. Like that's how they run things. That's how it is. Now, if you go to Italy, right? I've been to Italy, I've been to Spain, right? They have the police, right? Or the polizzi, and they have the Calbaneri. If the Calbaneri comes out, they ain't no talking. It's
Hmm.
not shooting,
And
right?
combination, like more like they like FBI or something, or
It's SWAT. Like if like the police are the police. They got a
Okay.
gun, but if the situation gets escalated where they need to break out their gun, they back off, they block off the street, and they call in the Calvinary. They
Mm.
come in military, paramilitary down. They'll give one warning, sniper on the roof, pow, take you out. They ain't playing. They don't play. They ain't in there for no gunfights because guess what? They used to dealing with the mob, right? The mob making, buildings burn, bricks burn, right? Every other country, but guess what? The police and the Calvinary, you have to take a national exam and you have to pass it, and they are under a different law, like military law, right? If you are a police officer in this area, you are a police officer, you get a national thing. Every other country has that, but America. You can get fired from being a police officer in this state and turn around and go 3 states over and be a police officer over there.
Sure.
How is that possible? Right? I hear all the time on the news in Japan, some police officer did something stupid, he going to jail. Right?
Immediately. There's no question.
Ain't no questions. Like, no questions. We ain't playing. Like, because they did an investigation on them, and then it's such and such. But yeah, and we putting it out, and the police commissioner get up there and apologize, doing a bowing. We messed up. No one knows about it, other than the people involved. Like, we didn't know about it because the media put it out, but they already handled the situation. People ain't rioting and protesting. But guess what? This is when you live in a homogeneous nation where everybody looks like you. Now, when you live in a multicultural nation, now you get a problem because who's at the bottom of the class system? Here's the crazy part, and this is the thing I want people to understand. Every society operates on a pyramid, right? If you turn the pyramid upside downwards and you got the tip of the pyramid, can the pyramid stand straight up? It's not possible, right? It's going to go to one on either side. So how are black people overly policed, overly killed, but we're the lower population? How are we doing all these horrible things, but we're the lower population? We're only 18%, right? And black outnumber black men 2-1, right? So why are we overly policed, overly killed? We get no justice, but we're the bane of society, but we're the backbone and the foundation of said society that was built on our backs, right?
So you would think we should be the most protected if we, you know what I'm saying? That's mind blowing. I'm about to say, hey, DeAndre.
Yeah, bro.
That is mind blowing. You make me want to drink tonight, and I usually don't drink, but goddamn it, bro.
I'm already drinking, bro.
I will say this. That's mind blowing because we are the oil of America. I knew this, and everything they want our music, our entertainment. We good at this football, basketball, hockey. Well, I won't say, but just
even hockey. They don't want you in hockey. They don't want you in tennis. They don't want you in golf. They don't want you in jack. Like,
but then again, too. Can you imagine? I'm just saying this. I know this might be kind of vague, but can you imagine like the NFL players, all black NFL players, just like we ain't playing? Their ratings are going to be very down, bro. And so, and the thing is just looking like, because you guys still treating us like we ain't shit to this country, our people, but you still want us to contribute to this damn economy. So my thing is, if you hate someone so that damn bad, but you still depend on them, far as like to keep things moving. It's just like common sense. You're like, okay, let me protect this individual. Let me help this individual because I need him. He's an asset to me.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me put it to you like this, right?
Let
me put it to you like this.
Wow.
Right. What's old dude name? He played for the Cowboys for a little bit. He beat up his girlfriend, slammed her on some rifles, all that other.
Was it
not Dez Bryant, the other guy.
Oh.
He was a linebacker or something. He ain't in the NFL no more, but he was still there. I forgot his name. He was a linebacker or something. But they let him play. Right? They let him play. It was egregious, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Michael Vick killed some dogs. He go to federal prison. They don't want him to play. They up there marching.
Wait, I'm sorry, you're not thinking about Sean Lee right now. That's not him. I don't know.
Sean Lee. It was another dude. It'll come to me in a second. But
okay.
right? You got a dude, the kicker. He was beating his wife up, got multiple domestic violence dispute. This is a white man on a white woman whipping up behind, but Mike Vick and them dogs.
Or you can say Ben Roethlisberger had allegedly someone, and he's still
allegedly. Look, Bill Cosby in prison on the allegedly on the statute of limitations. Oh, we gonna move this to a state where there ain't no statute of limitations that it never happened in. Now, I'm not condoning the stuff. I'm just telling you. And then so we can shut up because everybody called Gail Sayers out about Harvey Weinstein. They had to all right, bro, you got to be the sacrifice. So they don't call out the disparity, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm basically saying is animals have more rights than you. And they can't even speak. They can't even talk. A dog. Like, think about it, right? Remember the lady in Central Park that called the cops on the black guy?
That gay, bird watcher, yep. I remember.
You know what the most disturbing thing about that was? Everybody was worried about the dog getting choked out. They wasn't worried about the black man maybe about to get choked out.
I'm so glad like that investment company, Franklin, actually they had to actually fire her, man, because it's sad, man, because that goes to show you that she was going to use her white privilege and sit up and say, I'm going to say, she said in her words, I'm going to say it's an African American threat in my life. What?
Yeah, because she know that. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? I'm gonna tell you like this. Here's the crazy part. A black person can be hurting, running in a white neighborhood, thinking about they need help. And if they run into a white neighborhood, they got to think twice. A little white girl can run in any black neighborhood, and if she is hurt, we will run and help her.
That's true. I think
that's mind-boggling. It's just like,
I think because I don't know if you agree with this, but they said spiritually, like black people, we're just I don't know, it's in our DNA to like help others, if that makes sense. It's just like we're naturally forgiving. I know that's hard to.
No, well, you're not naturally forgiving, you're naturally subservient. So let me put it to you like this, right? Right. If someone does something wrong to you, right? You can forgive them, but you don't have to forget it, right?
True. Oh yeah.
But you're not going to mess with that person no more.
They speak about that in the Bible. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right? Like it's your God-given right, right? Like whether you're Christian or not, whatever. They say a lot of other things in the Bible. We ain't gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, it's your God-given right not to deal with that person, right? It's up to you. Right? Okay. So if that was the case, then if someone does you wrong, you'll just keep dealing with them and keep forgiving them and keep dealing with it, right? The reason why we do that is for one or two reasons. We, like, a black man will go upside let's just say a black man will fight another black man, right? And he know that if whatever happens, he's consigned that he will go to jail. But if that black man was to fire upon or fight another white man, even if he is doing it in self-defense, he knows that he might not even make it to jail. And if he goes to jail, he's going to get the maximum sentence if there's not no empirical evidence saying that he did such and such. And they might just drop the whole case and said it was mutual combat. He will not get any justice. You see how that works? That's not forgiving. That's like, we don't like, people need to understand, like, I didn't realize a lot of problems that was with the black community psychologically, and socially and economically until I got out of the country. Right. I ask myself a lot of times, a lot of the trials and tribulations that I experience overseas, or my triumphs and my success, if I was in America, would I be able to do the same thing? Would I be able to be an entrepreneur or move or be self-employed or be doing things because of my skill set? Right? Or because I'm black and they want me in that place. Now, of course, there's some monicums of white supremacy that I have to overcome, but it's not as bad as the ones that I got to do in my own country, right? So would I be able to do a lot of these things? And sleep at night. Like I leave my
Mhm.
doors open. There's no issue. Actually, if I want to get into some shit, I literally have to get into some shit.
It just
I,
don't like fall into your lap like, oh shit, I was in.
I literally have to get into something. Like I literally have to go and search
Put some
and see.
effort into it. Yeah.
I'm talking about unmitigated stuff. And most of the altercations I got into in the military, outside of the military, like after I got out, because I live near a military base, was with other Americans, with other military members.
Not the people who's actually originally from the country.
Exactly. Like,
That's crazy.
like it's not like, there's been some tiffs ups and stuff,
Yeah.
but my Japanese counterparts took care of that exponentially and expeditionally with extreme prejudice. With no problems, with no nothing. Like, so I'm not saying, yeah, this, that, and the other, but I understand how bad we're being treated. See, a lot of brothers that are overseas, they don't come back because now they know what it
I
feels
know.
like to be treated like a basic person and being human, right?
Mm.
But the problem is that your culture disappears um after two generations.
Mhm.
Your culture disappears. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm married. My wife, she's Japanese and British, and we're gonna be moving to England
Mm.
within the end of this year or maybe early next year, depending because it's COVID pushed a lot of stuff back and messed a lot of stuff up.
But yeah.
Yeah, because
That
we had things working. The Olympics was coming. Man, it was money. Lost,
oh, I'm at the
lost
yeah,
a lot.
I heard I would see the Olympics. I like the track and field events. I
Man,
was
if COVID was a person, man, I would choke it to death, man. That was a lot of bread lost, man. But
yeah, I was
yeah,
yeah, I was really looking forward to the Olympics, man. And that's sad they postponed it to next year. I know people like, damn.
no, it
Like,
was a lot of money being lost, man. Like
yeah.
it's a worldwide. So when the loss came, I wasn't feeling that bad because it
Mm.
was, not to say that it was a shared loss from everybody. Like if you're the only one sucking, it's way worse. When everybody's sucking, you really can't complain because everybody's sucking, right?
Yeah.
So, but my realization is that I tell a lot of people because have you ever watched that brother? He's over here. He's called a Black Experiences Japan. He goes all over the world and he goes to black people that are expats that live in other countries, right?
Mm. I'm gonna
He's
check
got
them out.
like yeah, dude's got like I think he's got like a lot of subs. He gets like 100,000, 500,000 views on stuff and stuff
Damn.
like that. But a lot of the brothers that are over there, a lot of the Americans, they don't want to go back to America. I see why, but the problem is that once you get married, once you have kids,
Mhm.
once they have kids, then your black culture of America that's been born and raised for 400 years go with it because they get assimilated into the society. They're no longer you. You know what I mean? It goes away because you're not bringing over a new crop of black people. You're not setting up an enclave. Like think about it like this, right?
Mm.
In every part of the world, there's a Chinatown. There's a Chinatown in Japan. There's a Chinatown
Yeah.
everywhere. They speak their language. They have their cultural and everything else, right? And then they pass their businesses down to the next generation. So the next generation don't have to lay the groundwork, but they could just keep it going, right? In your community, there's a Chinese carry out, there's a nail salon, right? There's something, right? But if you can be in that neighborhood for so long and you go in there, you notice that the ownership changes.
Mhm.
There's a new crop. The prices went up, went down, certain items are not there, the food don't taste the same. Yo, what happened? Oh, hey, I don't see. And you look in the back because you have that relationship, right? And a lot of times in the media, we put out how black people don't have a good relationship with the people that service us in our neighborhoods, like the Chinese people and the stuff. No, we do have a good relationship because if they didn't, they wouldn't be putting their businesses up in our neighborhoods, right?
It's
So there is a relationship with us, with them. Sometimes it's cantankerous, sometimes it's
yes.
good. When I was in my neighborhood, we had a great relationship with the Chinese lady that owned the neighborhood, that owned that her family owned that It was like a carry out slash supermarket slash.
They yeah, over here where I'm at, yeah. I mean, I go to the black neighborhood. It's a Chinese restaurant. You can sit down with buffet, all you can eat. They cool, they kick it with you. I'm like, eat a whole family, you know.
Whole family, right? But
Yeah,
because that's where it started from, right? Then
yeah,
when they start being made, then it becomes more business like, right?
right.
So it's more corporate like, and we don't like that as black folk because we when we get attached to something, we treat everything like family. We think business and family should be one and the same, and it's not. Business and family is separate. That's our mindset because guess what? We have that mentality. You know what I'm saying? As black folk, right? That's how we do things, right? Everything's a
Mhm.
family business. We want this family orientated thing because we got this thing called, blood is thicker than water, right? And
Yes.
in that thing is when that family moves on and and someone else from that family comes in, but that business stays in the family. It's still a Chinese business. It's still a Arab business. It's still an Indian business. It's still a Latino business. The problem is that who from my community, if all the things that I built up in Japan, all of my connections that I'm gonna keep, but I'm gonna be back and forth. Who can I pass it on? That is black, that is American, that I can pass these on so I can make money over here, get a percentage over here, and they can
Mhm.
keep it moving. I don't have anybody. I have to
So
pass it on to somebody from the continent or somebody else because I don't have
mhm,
that connection back in the States where someone will come over and do that. And we're so
that
spread
makes
out.
sense. That makes
That's
perfect sense.
yeah, that's the issue. That's the issue that we have. And you know what I mean? Like the problem that we have in a black family, and I'm gonna say this in the dynamic, right?
Mhm.
Is that we're not in the wealth building. We're in the one person getting wealth, and then they become the ATM machine.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, see, my father, when he started his carpet cleaning business back in when I was born in '93 and
Mhm,
everything, he knew this at an early age. He was about 19 at the time. So he kind of he started, he started getting like different equipment, educating himself on how to do it, and he
mhm,
started doing it. And next, when he got good at it, he started going to his warm market, like his family, his cousins and people was like, okay, and he was teaching on the ropes, and then he actually made connections to get to different contracts on apartment buildings, and he had his own office where he was employing our cousins and stuff like that, and his family, and they were all working together. And I'm looking like, man, like this is really good. People still tell me the stories, like my aunts and all that stuff. I even had my grandmother work for a little bit, like doing little paperwork and stuff. Like, so I kind of understood that though. And then, of course, he went through some different trials and everything. And he was just saying, like, it's kind of sad that, that you got some family, they kind of bicker about I want more money instead of them looking at the bigger picture that if we continuously to do this work and and if you see a issue instead of just trying to grab and grab my pockets like that, try to help and contribute to the business so you can eliminate the fact like, hey, I need some more money, give me some more money. Then now we're competing against one another. And I'm just
mhm,
looking like, and so I'm glad you brought that up because that is a huge issue mainly in our communities. And this is why it actually really I can say it kind of promotes a lot of individuals who come from the hood and make it. They're like, man, the hell with my family. I'm about to go and integrate with other people in the neighborhood because I got thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm making it. They just some damn, crabs in a barrel. And
mhm,
it's just like, damn, our mentality, man. So I just feel like, and then too, it probably goes back to like our family structure and how we're born. I mean, our environment and stuff like that, man. But when I hear like my brother, not my brother, but I call him my brother, but my friend, man, he was killed in January 2018, man, January 1st, man, and he was on his way to be this good rapper, man, about to sign a deal and everything. They shot him out inside the studio because it was a black man. He was jealous of him. And get this dude was in his 40s. This dude was 40 some years old, killed a 26-year-old man,
it was a who? A white man shot him?
black man, black
Black
man
man
shot him.
shot him? 47
Yeah.
years. Yeah, yeah.
And,
Listen,
and I'm
I hear.
looking like instead of you, I don't know what their relationship was. Of course, I know you knew him and stuff, but it's just sad, man. Because I'm looking
Well,
like,
Well, see, I'm like and the crazy thing is, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man,
Yeah.
because you know, in the music industry, here's the thing, right? What people don't
Mhm.
realize, um, is you don't have to have your whole family in your business,
Mm.
right? What you have to have is you have to have one family member that you're not grooming them to work in your business, but you're grooming them to take over the business so you can move on or expand the business to something else,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
That's the trick that we don't understand, right? That's how business works. I had to learn this by dealing with cultures outside of it, and this is how it works, right? What you want is when you wake up, your business has already made you money.
Mhm.
What you're trying to do is you're trying to take that money and you're trying to open up different avenues, right? Like, okay, let me give you a perfect example, right? You got a family member, right?
Mhm.
They can do hair. Good at doing hair, right? Very good at it, very talented. They got customers, right? They're always in the house doing hair. If I got money and I know the lights keep flickering and their light bill is high because they're doing hair. So if they're doing hair and the light is flickering and the light bill is higher because guess what? That house voltage is only set for residential use. It's not set for business use. Using hair dryers uses a lot of electricity.
Yes.
So of course you're going to pay more because it's in a residential area. Then if you was in a commercial area, you're going to pay less because the voltage is higher as it's not putting a barrier on the system. A lot of times black people, man, I could just run this business out of my house. Well, actually, it's going to cost you more in the long run because if something go
Mhm.
down, you're going to get shut down or whatever, whatever. So all that
Mhm.
money you made is actually going to be sucked out of your pocket. Now, if I got money, what I would do is I would go to that cousin or that sister or brother or whoever and say, look, you do hair. You're really good at it. Do you got your license? You don't have your license? Still do the hair on the side. I'm going to pay for you to go to cosmetology school. Then after you go to cosmetology school, you're going to get some reps, and then we're going to open you up a hair salon. It's not going to be a big hair salon. It's not
Mhm.
going to be with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chairs in it. It's just going to have 2 chairs in it. That's it,
Mm.
right? And I'm gonna find you somebody in cosmetology school that's getting a barber license, right? Then what you do is you find a person in cosmetology school that's getting a barber license. She got a chair to do hair. He's got a chair to cut hair. They're licensed. They get the thing. You do a percentage with them. Since I own the business is under my name. I got to check the books. This is how you do it. This is dummy proof. This is whatever, whatever, right? If you
Correct.
got private customers or whatever, whatever, everybody's not going to be a private customers, right? You say, this is my customer. This is a walk-in. This is a this. This is a that. Appointments are considered your customers. Walk-ins are walk-ins, right? That's how you do it. Then you double that business by selling products inside of the business,
Mhm.
right? Right?
Yeah.
Now you're selling bundles. Now you're selling this. Now you're selling that. What does this do? Now your business is actually selling accessories, right? Brushes, combs, things of that nature. All in this one area of business. Why do I gotta go down the street to the Koreans to get my hair supplies and my beauty supplies when I can get it all in here? But you got to make it competitive with the business. And then what
Mm.
you do is you put someone in the business, such as a teenager or something, in the family. Hey, such and such, such and such. Hey, you want to go chill with auntie? Make a couple of dollars. You just sit at the desk and be the receptionist. Answer the phone, right?
Okay.
You do that, you make the business small enough that it's manageable, that it's not too complicated, it's not too many hands in it. And then when the business get to the point they want to expand the business, then what you do is you move it forward and ask her, who would you like here? Hey, I got such and such. She might need a job. Did she got a license? Did she got this? Did she got that? Right? Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Well, she can work under you because a lot of times you can knock out and get your license knocked out by working under somebody that already has a license. Now that's a bit that is a business thing that happens, right? That people don't realize that this is what other folks do, right? They bring in one family member, they train that family member, and they pass the business on to them, or they get their money together and they invest in a business practice that family member is invested in, right? If we're doing carpet cleaning, right? We're doing carpet cleaning, and you're good at like fixing cars, then you don't need to be carpet cleaning. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I get what you're saying. So utilizing it, everybody's gifts. That makes sense. I get what you're saying on that.
Yeah. And what
And
this
use
does is
right,
make everybody get their own money. And then they're not
and
in
use
your
your idea to capitalize their advantage and their strengths. That makes Let me read this comment here. Chaos Ring. Hello everybody. Is this the brother that you had on your channel, just DeAndre?
Hey, what's up, Chaos? What's going on, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Good enough, man.
so if you had the how should I say it like this? If you can't a boss can't understand boss moves to employees unless that employee is put in the boss position.
Mm-hmm.
Your father can't understand the nuances of everything he's got to pay, insurance, tax, and all this other stuff, right? Right. And not everybody in your family needs to be employed by you. That's another thing that we misinterpret and misunderstand. You can't work with all your family members. Actually, you should actually keep your family working with your family members down to a minimum. Have them make their own business or get them employed by someone else. You know, like, and this is where you have business connections where you say, you know what, hey, I can get you a job over here working with such and such. Well, I want to work for you. Nope, 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 nope. Go work for that person over here because your skill set for what I do isn't good for what I'm doing. Right? Because if they want to work for you, they think they can chill and just get easy money. People will follow the path of less resistance. Let's just be real.
They
Right?
see, and that's the recipe of failure. Man, see,
But it's not just
and
us. It's not just us. Don't
yeah,
get it twisted. Yeah,
yeah,
don't get it twisted. Listen, I had to tell people a lot of times, and I gotta tell black people this a lot of times, right? Being around the country, being around the world has shown me that the stereotypes that you have of Asians, people from the continent of Africa, people from Europe, people from Latin America are misconstrued because the westernized world get the best of the best, right?
that
You
is
know
so
what I'm saying?
deep. So
Right?
basically, they're not superior than us. They're regular human beings. It's just
You just getting the best of the best. Look, check this out. I'm in
basically,
Japan, right? I'm in Japan,
mhm,
right? Can the regular brother walking down the street, I ain't even gonna talk about the guy that went to jail to selling the drugs, but let's just say, can the
yeah,
regular brother that walking down the street, that's working his 9 to 5, that's trying to pay his bills, trying to keep his job on the low end of the pay spectrum for his position. He's not getting paid as much as the white woman that's his counterpart. Not even don't even mention the white man, but the white woman that's his counterpart,
mhm,
right? He ain't here. He ain't in Japan unless his job sends him here. And his job is
mm,
less likely to send him here because they would like a white representation because that is the majority of America, right? That is the
right.
power structure that they will respect and fear, right? So what that means is I am the best of the representation of America when someone meets me because I'm black and I'm an American. So I carry myself as such. But that doesn't mean that everybody is at my status or at my stature. So let's
Yeah.
reverse that. Every person, every African from the continent, every Arab, every 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 European, every Latino that you meet that is in a nice job description that are immigrants that came over, and I'm talking about from South America, from Central America, I'm
Mhm.
talking about Spaniards, I'm talking about whatever immigrant you run into that is at a nice job description, and the small percentage of them that are there, guess what? If they immigrated legally, they're the best of the best because it costs at least a minimum of $3,000 per person to get a visa in the United States of America, and then you gotta pay extra to rush that visa to get a work visa. So come on now, let's stop playing
Yeah.
about where your country stands on the threshold of power. You are competing against the best of the world. The deck is being stacked against you. They're comparing you to the best of the best minorities. Like black people, a black person being great in America is like making something from scratch versus just adding water and eating it. What society in America wants is already made minorities ready to go. And over 2 to 3 generations, guess what's going to happen? We're going to wipe out your culture. We're going to culturally appropriate it, and
That
you're
makes
not going
sense.
to fight to keep it.
They keep this going. I see where you're going now. I see where you're going from that.
And
So that's when it comes to that motivation of that replacement, like we said before. They get the best of the countries and like, okay, you got these skills here, and we're gonna make it a little bit more easier for you. Because I remember somebody was saying like too, because of the birth rates is declining from amongst whites as well compared to other races.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
really low. Okay, this is how you know the birth rates are declining, right? So people miss the trick bag. Here's a trick
Mm.
bag, right? Planned Parenthood was defunded.
Mm.
You know what Planned Parenthood was? Remember they had all of that. I remember when I was growing up. Like I'm an '80s baby. I was born in the '80s, but growing up in '80s, '90s.
Mm.
It was teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy was an epidemic. You know
Yeah.
why it was an epidemic? Because it was a white person's problem. Black people has had teenage pregnancy has been going on in black communities
For
forever,
the longest.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
So nobody cared, right? Nobody
Right.
cared. I care, right? Because keep having them babies so we can. Oh, if they boys, we sending them to jail. If they women, we gonna have them working in our houses and being mammies and stuff. So it doesn't matter because we gonna have help. You either gonna work in society or gonna work in the fields, boy. That's basically what it was. It didn't matter. But when it started happening to white society, then it's a problem because now we got to give these people resources, and since they're the majority, we can't blame it on the black folk. So now we're going to come up with contraceptives and we're going to start doing sex
Right.
education and coming up with, we're going to start funding abortions. Roe versus
Mm.
Wade. There wasn't no black woman that went up there and was talking about it's my body and it's my choice.
Yeah.
Money to bring all that up to the Supreme Court. Who paid them lawyers? So they were getting overrun, right? So
Mhm.
so what do? You do Planned Parenthood. Then you make it so that people don't want to have kids. So you
Mhm.
use something that people don't want to talk about. Child
You
support.
know, we can get into that. That's for a whole nother
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
Whoo, but that's a whole nother video because I was reading. I don't know if you listen to Sean James on YouTube.
I think I came across him a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a writer. He wrote over 70-something books, but he wrote this book called The Man Crisis, and he's basically talking about the feminist movement, how it kind of really negatively impacted the black community, man. I mean, especially as young men too.
Well, here's the thing about that, right? See, here's the proverbial trick bag, right? Oh, I think you got. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so he highlighted a lot of Okay, so he highlighted a lot of things that we experience here that's going on in America though. And I was just like, man, it really made a lot of sense though, because back then though, he was just saying like in the 50s, 40s, and 30s in that time, like, you really couldn't divorce anyone unless they committed adultery. Nowadays, like since the feminists kind of twerk everything a little bit of the system that they can
I think he's having. He's
Can you
a
hear
he,
me? Dang.
yeah. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Then financially, I said, it can really, destroy the male culture and everything, especially as the black men in the community. And he just really broke that down, man, and just how like it's so essential for a man to be in a man's life, a young boy's life when he's growing up, because if not, He's going to be taking on to female tendencies, and then he's going to have a false narrative of what a man's supposed to be. And so he really broke that down, man. And he talked about this is when the origins of gangs in, because a lot of people join gangs because they feel like that's their first introduction to manhood. Then on top of that too, you know, they can get that fast money, to get that fast women, all that type of stuff. But what they fail to realize is a fast track to the grave, and it's a fast track to you know, to be in prison. And then it's hard to recover and make up your life. But the thing is too, you got people that was bullied verbally, emotionally, and so they join like a group of people. It's like, wait, you're gonna protect me if I do this and that? Cool, I got you. You know, and so, and what they know is they into their own self-destruction. And
Yeah.
it was just really deep, man. I was just like, wow, like this really kind of explains a lot of things that we, as what we going through and we picking back up from in the community. Is just giving our women, I feel like, a false narrative that I can raise a family without a man. And that's
Well,
that's that.
well, I'm gonna say like this, like, and here's the issue with that, right?
Mhm.
That I say that like that I'm saying is he's right, but then there's something that he's missing,
Mm.
something that he's really missing. And here's the thing that he's really missing. The thing that he's really missing is that is feminism 2.0 that he's talking about.
Mm.
Right? The feminism that we're witnessing right now is third wave feminism, weaponizing of feminism to take down the male patriarchy and whatever. We can get into all of that, but
Mm.
here's the thing: feminism and civil rights and pro-blackness actually was hand in hand, and actually the first um, supporter of first wave feminism after the Emancipation Proclamation was actually Frederick Douglass. Feminism
Okay.
in America was actually brought about, pushed, and backed and organized by a man, a white man,
Mm.
right? So if you actually if you actually talk to a feminist and you actually give them history on the thing that they're about, because a lot of the feminists, they just wanted to be like treated like regular people. They just wanted to be able to get jobs, you know, because of their aptitude as women. They never said that they are equal to men, because they understand that they can't do certain things that men can do. But when it comes to aptitude of if they can do the job or not, they just want an equal and fair shake. That's it. They want to be able to have the same rights of education, healthcare,
Right.
legalities. You know, even if there's a divorce or something like that. So up until the 1960s, right, men could unilaterally move. Men could take the kids. They could divorce the woman,
Yeah.
even if they cheated on them, take the kids or whatever. Men could just leave the home and leave the kids with the woman and just go off, and no one held them accountable. Child
Mm.
support was not made for black people. Child support was made for white men to keep them in line, to make them responsible for their homes.
Mm.
They're the
Mm.
majority, right? Like you
Yeah.
got to pick the struggle, right? If black men are not getting, if black men are at the bottom of the totem pole, they're not getting, if they're unemployed, if they're going to jail the most, if they're doing all this, if they're getting killed out in the streets most of the time. And then there's research out there that says black women are less likely, or 3 times less likely, to put black men on child support. White women are the first. Do you know that a black woman has to
Sure.
apply for welfare 3 and 4 times to get it, but a white woman can only need to apply for it once and get it
One
immediately?
time.
Once.
They don't talk about, see, that's the thing though, because they don't talk about the rejections that women get. It seems like they, as far as black women applying for like Section 8 and all these welfare and these programs, they looking like, it just seems like they just getting it right then and there, but they don't tell you like the struggles. Some of the black women don't even talk about the struggles of how they try to get it.
And listen, and then they made it so that if you are on, um, if you're on welfare, you have to have a job. You have to have a
Mhm.
job. So men can't get welfare,
Right.
right? So women can
Unfortunately,
get it,
no.
but you need a child to get the welfare, right? You need a child to get the welfare. So, like I said, like what he was saying makes sense if you're looking at it on one spectrum. But I like to look at the whole thing in the whole, like the whole spectrum of everything. You know, like I like to look at it in the whole totality of everything. Where did it come from? So when I go back to something, I say, well, these women didn't make policy. So who was pushing these
Mhm.
policies? Oh, it was white men that were pushing the policies to weaponize women up against other white men. The minority in power, but the majority in America are white women. White
Mm-hmm.
people make up 56% of the population. White women outnumber white men 2 to 1. So they're the majority. So if we were democratic, then white women would wield unilateral power in just voting,
Mm-hmm.
right? When Obama got into office, guess who was the overwhelming number of people that voted for him? Because he got most of the black vote. He got 95% of the black vote. You know what really put
Right.
him in office in a landslide?
Those are white women.
White women. Because you know what
Yeah.
he ran on? He ran on healthcare. He ran on everything that they cared about.
That makes sense. That makes
He
perfect sense.
ran on everything that they cared about.
Yeah.
How did Trump get in the office? What did he say? We gonna bring the jobs back so your husbands can go back to work so they can pay, or your boyfriends can pay that child support, because they can't pay child support if they unemployed.
Now I have to be
White women.
unemployed. It
That's why
benefits them.
he can say
Well, Gray was telling me that white women are the most protected class in America. That's true. Yeah.
they're well. Let me ask you a question, right? You're in the military,
Mhm.
right?
Yes. Yes.
You go to war, right? You got to protect your guns. Got to protect
Yeah.
your weapons, right? Because you
Always.
can't fight, right? So of course, why would you not protect your weapon? You can unilaterally use. Listen, they tell you, right? Like they tell you, this is your gun. There's no
Yes.
other gun like this, but this gun is yours. They
Yeah.
glorify that weapon. They make you fall in love with that weapon. They make you break that weapon down and put it back together and clean that
Mm-hmm.
weapon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not glorify that weapon, right? Why would you not? Like, yes, they're the most protected class now because they can be used. But guess what? The problem is they ain't having kids. The weapon is getting out of control, right?
Mm.
The weapon is only useful long as it obey the user. Once the weapon is turned on the user, guess what happens? So now you're seeing birth rates fall, right? Because of the MGTOW movement and all these other movements, right? Because it's
Oh
a
yeah.
fight back of the heavy-handed tactics, right?
Baxter.
I don't know who that is. Yeah. Um, Baxter, buddy. So you might be getting some trolls or something like that. Like you know what I mean? That usually happen when you start talking about like the red people.
Connection issues.
Yeah. Yeah, you might get some of that sometimes. But what I'm saying is that it's all policy
Uh,
driven, right? It's all policy driven, right? Here's here's the thing about society, right? Um, we know that black people are very good at reproducing. Latinos are very good at reproducing, right?
yes.
Right? Okay. You can't stay in power for too long if the people that you're oppressing are reproducing at a ridiculous rate. So
That's
you got
true.
you got to make policies, you got to do certain things to keep their numbers down. But it will only last for so long, right? It will only last for so long. So what you have to do is you have to start an assimilation process, right? If you notice, when I grew up, you ain't see no white people doing no hip hop openly. They do it in their house, and then as I grew up, it was getting open and open and open and open.
Right.
Now, if you look across the landscape, it's normal to see white rappers and black rappers doing videos together, and they can rap just as
Mhm.
good because it's a skill, right? At the end of the
Yeah.
day, yeah, it's our culture, but it's a skill, and a lot of them fell on their laurels, and we still got lyricists, but there's some guys that are really good, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna touch on the Takashi situation. What Takashi did was actually he set the new paradigm. No longer do you need to be affiliated with a gang to make money in hip hop. That's what they basically said. You do not have to be a street dude. You can be a regular, everyday suburbanized.
Snitching dude.
Yeah, right. And snitching is now an Olympic sport, just like any form of business. Remember, hip hop is a business. It's not a lifestyle. It's not a culture in
Right.
which you have these things, right? Because okay, if the police doing something and they doing that blue wall of silence and they ain't snitching, then you can't turn around and talk to Takashi about snitching.
See, it is interesting. See, what I like about Takashi is he's a master marketer. He reminds me of Lil B a little bit, because it's I don't it's weird, man. It's just like maybe his personality. I don't know what it is, but like, because I went on his YouTube channel,
Mhm.
and don't give me, it's one video that had 1 billion views.
Yeah.
Not some people can do that. You get what I'm saying? You even get I had like legendary rappers like Common and stuff. They be making sometimes average 2 million views, if that. I'm gonna tell about people who got talent. Kendrick Lamar had close to 1 billion views when it came to Humble, but with him, he's just coming out the gate, millions of views. He went on Instagram Live, had 1 million people watching him.
Yeah.
That's the first time in history I had ever seen. I think the most I've seen was probably like when Cardi B went on Instagram Live. She had about 90,000, and I thought that was a lot.
No, because I'm gonna tell you why. Because one, here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
One, he's Mexican, but he's white. He's a white
Mm-hmm.
Mexican. You consider him a white
Right.
Mexican. Two, he was in the
Yeah.
news. Three, he did the smart thing by snitching. Right?
Well, he had to do all that time, and then too.
Yeah, he did. No,
Yeah.
he did the smart thing by snitching because people's like, man, you don't snitch. No. You have to give someone a reason for not snitching. Right?
Mm.
Right?
Okay.
People don't realize how snitching, not snitching work, right? You have to reward them for not snitching. If I'm going to go to jail for 20, 30 years, you got to take care of my family while I'm gone. You got to make sure that I ain't got to even touch my commissary while I'm in there. I need to live like a goddamn king in jail if I'm going to do 20
Right.
right?
Right.
Now you kidnap me, you smash my baby moms, you threaten to kill my moms, and
Yeah,
you
bro.
go to jail for 20, 30 years for you?
But look, but the way Takashi said it, he was looking like, I'll be mad too. I'll be mad too. I'm coming back, making all this money. I'll be mad too. He was looking like, and I was looking like, because the thing is, he's just like, y'all trying to assassinate my character, and I'm still coming back on top. He was like,
Yeah.
you niggas up here still making music, ain't nearly doing this in the same numbers as me. I'll be mad too. I was looking like, I was just
Takashi actually did, and I had to tell somebody this. I said he used the 48 laws of power.
And what law was that?
Oh, he used a couple of laws, man. He used a
I know.
slow.
It's so many of it's like I know it's very unpredictably. I don't know.
Listen, he used so many laws. Listen, I got this thing I got the 48 laws on my computer, man.
It's
Uh,
a good
uh
book.
yeah. Oh, listen. Cerulean, he has his own website called like the Gray Regime, TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's got all the laws up there. He's got all the books up there. Like you go on his website and he's got all the books in PDF that he paid for. You go to Gray Regime .tv, and then you go to like audio books and stuff. He's got it right there. The library, he's got it up there. He's got Robert Greene's The Art of War, The Art of Seduction. Yeah, he's got the whole thing. He's got the
I
whole.
like that. I like
Yeah,
40 Low. That's really interesting, man. Because of course, Never Outshine the Master. He did it. He did like, yeah, it was
yeah.
quite a bit.
But what he did was this is what he did. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you what he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he called it snitching, but yeah, he did pose as a friend, work as a spy. That's law 14. Um,
Okay.
okay, what he did was the other law was law 11, learn to keep people dependent on you, right?
Mm.
What he did was law number 9, win through actions, never through argument, right?
I gotta
So
reread that book, man. Oh man.
so the other thing that he always does that you think he's a genius is law number 6, court attention at all costs, right?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Then law number 3, conceal your intentions, right? Law number 2, never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use
That's
enemies,
the deep one. Yeah.
right? Then he did something else. Like he did law number 15, crush your enemies totally. Right? They're in jail for 30 years. They ain't never gonna get out and touch him. If anybody dares to even touch him, he's under federal protection. Right?
Bro,
You going
it's like, and I look
right?
at like, you see Takashi, man. It's now. Now let
No,
me ask you this, just DeAndre. I know
so,
we're going all over the place, but this is good.
yeah.
What about Bobby Smurder, man? Is he gonna get respect when he come out?
What is respect going to do when he was in jail? See, the difference with Bobby Shmurda is this, right? He
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to go to jail, right?
He's still
Right?
Yeah.
No. Like even if he snitched on himself, the way they took the testimony was forcefully without his lawyer being present or without his rights. But because
Mm,
he didn't have any money to get a defense attorney, see, that's another
mm,
thing about
yeah,
money. Money gets you lawyers, get you legal counsel, right?
that's
Takashi
true.
wasn't stupid. He made all that money and he got
Yes,
him a good lawyer.
he
Bobby
did.
Shmurda was broke. He was going to jail regardless.
He was
He
trying to, yeah, he was making a little money from Hot Nigga, but
No, he wasn't making nothing because guess what? That song that he made, he didn't copyright it. Guess what? The record
mm,
label that signed him actually owned the rights to Hot Nigga. So guess what? They making money off him going to jail.
they making money off
He
of him.
actually had to snitch on himself to get a plea deal so he would get less time. So by time,
See,
yes, they would have hit him with the
but
whole
just
thing.
but
Yeah.
let me ask you this, like, how can you so and Bobby Smurf 19 years old and stuff like that. I know, but
Was
my
19.
thing is just like how can you educate yourself on this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is this like a book you can read, like educate yourself? I guess you gotta educate yourself on the laws before you get into the entertainment industry like this, I guess, and before you signing deals.
It's life. Like, listen, I used to be out there
Yeah.
in the streets, right? Right.
Mhm.
And like, remember what I said, right? They never got the kingpins of anybody on the stuff that they actually did. They always got them on tax evasion and racketeering,
Mhm.
right? Okay. My OG told me, I'm from Baltimore, OG, right? My OG told me, right? Always keep money for a lawyer. When I would
Mm.
get locked, when I would get locked up, when I would get locked up, and I would dig in my pocket, right? When they had me in bookings, and I would say, check my pocket. And they go in my wallet and they saw my lawyer's card in there and they knew who he was, they would just let me go because they ain't want them problems. They didn't want them problems. He didn't even have to come down to the precinct most of the time. But you know what I
Mm.
would tell him? Put me back in the holding cell and release me with the other dudes when they get out. Because guess what? If I got out before everybody else got out, even if I had a lawyer, they thought I snitched. So I got to live on that block, right? Bobby Shmurda dudes, they was in it together, right? So he was going to be protected in jail because he didn't snitch. That
Mm.
doesn't stay true because Takashi was a civilian. He was never one of them hood niggas. He didn't have that cachet, right?
I get what
So
you're saying.
so
Yeah.
if it's a different type of thing. Bobby Shmurda ain't got to worry about his books being paid for in jail. He ain't got to worry about the tasty cakes. He ain't got to worry about nothing because they knew that he had more to lose. So it's more of a loyalty thing because they grew up together, right? I don't expect Takashi not to snitch. He's not from that type of cloth. He's not built in that type of neighborhood. It's not his thing. But what it did set a precedence is that criminal activity, outward criminal activity, will not be no longer funded in the music industry, especially in hip hop, because it's a billion-dollar industry. And we need to get y'all up out of there. Because think about it. Jay-Z's a billionaire. Kanye's a billionaire. Puffy's a billionaire. You got all these billionaires running around. Guess what? We don't need your drug money in here permeating. It's other ways to make money. So if you cut that off, because how many, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many people do you know? You just talked about your friend that was an up and coming prominent rapper, but how many up and
Mhm.
coming prominent rappers are getting murdered? You're talking about Nipsey Hussle that was outside of his business doing for the
Yep.
community and he got murdered, right? You talking about all these people and all these rappers that could have been great, but they can't be because they're dead and they're in the ground, right? You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So what I'm basically saying is this, and this is just me, right? This is a business. You have to treat it as such. People snitch on each other all the time in front of grand juries. We don't say nothing about
Yeah.
Martha Stewart getting a little bit of time in Club
Oh,
Fed. She
yeah.
back on TV. Did we
You
forget?
see a lot of stuff,
Did
yeah. The
we,
Snoop Dogg was, with her and all that census, yeah, so
did we forget? This is Martha Stewart. Did we
Mhm.
forget? We forget, right? We get amnesia, right? Did we forget this
Mhm.
white woman went to jail for insider trading? Like she knew that company was about to cost people millions of dollars, people about to lose their homes, and we just forgot it. cause Pookie sold a dime bag down the street. Dude did a
You get like 5, you get 10, 15. You're like, really for that? And that's another thing too, man. I remember I had like some commission. I'm not gonna say his name though on here. He might be watching, but he was running for the city, one of the city councils in Detroit, man. And he want to advocate for basically just like for prisoners or anything, like basically if if you get locked up, it's on your record. It's hard for you to get a apartment, it's hard for you to get a job, and he kind of want to eliminate that. So basically that was pretty much what he was doing. And
I get that. I'm like, if it's listen, if it's non-violent crimes, if it's
yeah,
misdemeanors, right? But
yeah,
I don't want you to work. I don't want to hire you and you got locked up for stealing like from your job and taking like $20,000-$30,000. Like I need to know that, bro.
yeah, that's a huge issue. Yeah,
it has to be like, yo, okay, we smoke some weed over here. But if listen, we know weed is not physically addictive, right? We all know marijuana, we know that. But yo, if you are a recovering alcoholic or a crackhead or meth, bro, we got some problems. We got some issues. Like, why am I like, if you got locked up for peddling certain things, now let's see how long it was. Okay, you did it once, you got locked up maybe a couple of times, and then you kind of trying to change your life, and you've been clean ever since. You did your time, paid your debt.
You went to counseling, therapy. All right, let me take a chance on you. I get what you're saying.
Okay, let me look at that. Cool. And then let's whatever. But best believe you're not going to be sitting in front of a Fortune 500 company unless you made it. I'm just saying, like, is there certain things that we have to understand? Like, yo, sometimes we don't care, and sometimes we give too much of the care. We care too goddamn much, and we have to be balanced with this. We have to be balanced with this. We have to set a precedent. Yo, you a child molester? Oh, we all need to know.
Like, yeah, that's
like, because you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you looking at little kids and stuff and little girls and kidnapping little people and talking about you got Wi-Fi in your trunk and put the little girl in the back of the trunk and all of that. Beans hanging out of your pocket and stuff and sitting in little parks and just staring at little kids. No, we need to know all that. So you got to be worried about the slippery slope, and you got to be specific in what you're talking about, and you got to run on that ticket. You can't do a blanket statement when you say stuff like that, because it sounds all well and good because you got good intentions, but the world is not filled like that. I'm a pragmatist. I'm a pragmatist. I don't put a lot of morality in the decisions that needs to be made for countries. And for forms of government. Like, what I like to do is get people together and have conversations and say, yo, if you was going to build a country, like, how would you start it off? Like, would you want to be on an island? Like, what type of climate you want? Like, what type of resources you want? Right? Like, how would you form your government? Would you want a democracy? Would you want a representative democracy? Would you want it to be a state-ran democracy? Like, what type of country? Like, what are your resources? How are you going to protect that country? How are you going to get extra resources? What if this country breaks down with you? So how are you going to deal with it? Are you going to instigate something? Or are you going to, okay, say this country's got more resources and you want to trade. They don't want to trade with you. And they just like thumbing their nose at you, but your people got to eat. So what you going to do? Oh, guess you got to invade. Because you got to get them resources, because your country is only good as your people, right? Then you start realizing that morality isn't something that's taught to you. Morality is something that society is pushed onto you by the people in power. They don't even practice the same thing that they're telling you to do.
Oh no!
Well, I'm like, look at now, right? Peacefully.
That's what going back to here about this the stuff that's going on here right now. Like I say, you got a lot of young kids out of work, out of school. Some people have a negative expectancy of their future, and when they see just another African American, like I said, male getting killed, I mean, they just like, hey, whatever, what I have to lose, let's just go ahead and do some shit. So, and and I was just saying, like, we all got a role. We all got something to do. I was talking to like Von Kayson. He's going to school for computers. And I was like, listen, bro, you don't have to be a Martin Luther King or a Malcolm X. I'm not saying everybody don't have to do that. I mean, that comes from a special talent. I just say that the best thing you can do, like I said, if you have a skill or anything, like I said, just teach. Teach people in your community. Teach. Everybody can be a teacher, I believe. Like, just teach. Give some knowledge passed around, because that person can use that. knowledge and be like, okay, and help other people based on the things that you said to them. So that's why I'm just saying, like, I just feel like, getting some more skills, getting some more professional careers. Like I said, like, if God wants me to go ahead and do 20 years in the military or not, like I said, I still got a plan on what I want to do. And
Yeah.
like I said, that's get it in, get like, being I think Gray, he recommended me to be on a advisory, for the governor or stuff like that, or stuff like that, get an advisory position. And I'm looking into that, because my
Oh,
heart has been, because when I was in school, DeAndre, I
mhm.
was always interested in civics. So I took civics class in middle school, and I was really good. I think I had like a B+ in the class, but I was really good. I liked it, and it was nice. And I learned about how a bill becomes a law.
Mhm.
I wrote about the Gettysburg Address. That shit was interesting to me. It was boring to a lot of people, but to me, it was interesting. And I remember, I don't know if they still have it on when I used to watch Direct TV.
Yeah.
People still got Direct TV, but yeah, when I was Direct TV back in the day, they had a show, they had a channel where literally you can watch the White House, you can watch what the United States senators and the House of Representatives are doing on a day-to-day basis. And I used to literally like watch that and see what they've been doing. I was like 13, 14 years old,
Yeah.
taking notes. They be saying, and my mom used to be like, "What you doing? What you watching? What's all this?" I was like, "Oh, this just the White House. Want to see what they was doing and all this stuff." And they was like, "Okay, So I was just really into that type of stuff, man. And so I don't know, man. Maybe I feel like it's a calling for me, man. I just
I would say this, right? Like if you're in
yeah.
the military, this is just me, right?
Hmm.
In the military, the if you want to get into that, the problem with being in the military, you can't say but so much,
I know. I
right?
know. That's
So
why I go to
you know what I'm
people's
saying,
panels.
and for you, and even for you to get involved in the civics to a certain degree, you
Hmm.
can't do but so much, even
Hmm.
if it's as PC as possible, right? So
Right.
you actually would have to get out of the military to be
Yeah.
able to get into the civics arena to do what you need to do. Now you can work for the military as a civilian outside of the military,
Hmm.
for your daily whatever. But just like a lot of the past presidents, they were in the military, right? Like
Yes.
JFK, he was in the military, but he had to get out of the military to run for office and politics and stuff,
Hmm.
right? Because they have that with that, that whole separation of thing and using the
Right.
military as an apparatus to wield it unilaterally and stuff, right? Even though
Hmm.
they do it behind the scenes, they just do it as long as they don't do it on American soil and they do it outside of American soil, it's all good, right? That's that workaround, right? Talking about that gray area.
Hmm.
Now, the what I would suggest if you feel as though it's a calling and you know that the military is holding you back from doing what you need to do or pursuing it, what I would do, and this is just my suggestion, is knock out as much college that you can while you're in because you ain't got to pay for it. Um, get that knocked out, at least get your bachelor's degree in civics, right? And then
Hmm.
that'll get you somewhere like, working like your city council, your state legislation, something like that, right? Even if you're not running for office, if you're working for or you're employed by one of the candidates,
Right.
you're working with them, you get to see the day and day thing because it's less about it's like when it comes to politics, when it comes to anything like policy wise or something like that, right? Because there's not
Hmm.
a degree to be a politician. There's not a degree. There's not a specific degree
Not
when you
really.
go to
Yeah.
school to be a politician. Don't you find that upsetting and weird?
It is weird though.
Like, what is the
Yeah.
degree? Like, what is the degree? Oh, you got to have a law degree. Like most of them have a law
Most
degree.
of
Do they or do
them
they not? Right? Some presidents do. Some presidents don't. Shoot, shit. Ronald Reagan was a goddamn actor. He ain't had no
actor.
goddamn law degree, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Well, like, what is Trump's thing? Making money off of going bankrupt. Bam. Being a financial failure and making money off of it. Wow. Why would anybody in their right mind want to do that? Like the dude don't even the dude defaults on defaults. Like he don't even pay back the default or the default. Like come on, like for real. I'm just being totally honest, right? Why would you
Hmm.
employ a dude with a track record of being financially unstable where he had to borrow money from the enemies of the country? I'm just saying.
Hmm.
But listen, hey, he's in office. He got there because he had the right people. So being the face of politics
Hmm.
is a gift. Being the actually worker in politics is not. It's actually courting, right? It's actually being the perfect quarter, right? Like you ever watch those shows? Like the most thrilling part of Game of Thrones, I like Game of Thrones, right? So
I have to watch that. Is that actually on Hulu or Netflix?
I don't know. I think it's on Hulu because of HBO because it's an
Okay.
HBO show. So I guess you can. Um, the thing I like about Game of Thrones or shows like that, yeah, they got some fighting. Yeah, they got some battles. You know what I'm saying? That's just keep you interested. But I
Mhm.
like the political savvy and the political strategic moves that they're doing. Right?
Mm.
Like this quarter will get with that quarter, they'll talk to this, but they have an ulterior motive. They got this guy listening to this guy to get this information and they use it to their advantage. Right? I like that because that's actually how wars are actually fought. It's through diplomacy.
Mhm.
People going to war and shooting guns, that means diplomacy done broke down. We got no choice but listen, it's easier to enslave a nation with diplomacy and with the threat of warfare than it actually is to go to war. It costs too much to go to war. It
Right.
actually does, right? The only people that make money off of war are the people that shooting up stuff, right? So
Mhm.
diplomacy works longer. You get more done. And you didn't have to tear up anything, and you really didn't have to set up more than what you had, and you don't have to pay a private security firm to ensure that you got it because they don't want you blowing up stuff and wiping them off the face of the planet.
Mhm.
That's how it works. That's how diplomacy is. So, um, I would say do that. And like, how many years you got left on your list?
5.
You got 5, man. You got listen. How long you been in?
A year.
A
It's not
year.
just a year. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you did. So like, hold on. Like, this is your first enlistment, right?
Yes.
Oh, say so you signed up for like a 6, basically,
Yes.
like 6 years. All right, man, you got 6 years, man. So 6 years is plenty enough time, right? Because usually it's 4, but you signed up for 6, so you got that 2 over, right? So what I would do is I would get all the information that I can, do on like whatever job you have or whatever you do in the military, get proficient in that because that's a skill that you can use when you get out, get your
True.
certification. That do your civics thing. That's what you want to do. You want to get into politics, but this is the thing that I'm going to tell you because I can tell that you have a strong moral compass and
Mhm.
you have a strong moral code, right? And you believe in the tenets of Christianity.
Right.
About to tell you something, and it's not going to make you feel good, but I'm here to give you some advice and tell you the truth, right?
Mhm.
You ever heard of that saying that good men don't make good kings?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So corruption.
so,
Yeah.
so when you get into the hierarchy of even the military, they do things that are despicable, but it's for the greater good of the nation in which they're working for.
Somebody was telling me how. Yeah. Especially when you get to more officer ranks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
interesting. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just tell you this. You know how they say bullets don't discriminate?
Yes.
Neither does tomahawks.
Mhm.
Neither does tomahawk missiles. They don't discriminate. You drop them where you drop them and whatever. If it's a kid there, kablawi.
You're right.
I'm just being real with you. Women,
Yeah,
kids.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So what I'm basically trying to tell you is when you get into politics, you are writing away one individual group for the betterment of another individual group. There's no you have to move back and forth, right? You have to move back and forth with everything. You know, you have to be able to do it for your constituents and for the greater good. And then sometimes you're going to have to make deals with the devil. Like this person ain't nothing, but you see
Yes.
what he has to give in his give and take. You have to, and then your moral compass becomes screwed because you realize how the world actually works and not what they tell you. And a lot of times we use a form of religion to actually subvert people in society, right? If you have the people that are the majority in population but the minority in power thinking that there's some greater good in society, some higher power, then the people in power can do whatever they want because they're waiting for some mystical being to come down and save them, instead of them grabbing they things and they pitchforks and coming to the Capitol. Now,
Right.
just to touch on what this hoghead cheese said, I agree with protesting, but I disagree with the opportunist looters. I'm glad that you made that distinction. I'm glad that you said that, because there are a lot of anarchists, a lot of white supremacists that are sitting plants down to start stuff and to start the looting,
Yeah.
the destroying of specific targets and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
That's why I
glad.
know it's looking like, because last time I checked, the Black Lives Matter movement was really I know it was funny what George Soros, Democratic Socialist. So I'm thinking like, because I remember in college we had meetings about this. We looking like, okay, so who is economically paying for this? I mean, it's a stage there, it's people with mics, that stuff costs money, so it ain't coming from us. So who is it funny? They all of a sudden come and he was it was a pastor speaking this to us. I was like, man, he making a lot of sense. And he was just saying like, like you got to think about that. I mean, so are they really for us, or they just, is this somebody behind the scenes is baiting this
Of
for
course,
us?
it's
Yeah, for us to get into our emotions, be like, we writing for y'all, but evidently, they're not. They're going back to their own communities, like I said, and so it's like it reminds me of this the Boondocks episode when Granddad Freeman. I'm gonna read this article. I'm gonna read it in a minute. So when Granddad, remember he had a little restaurant,
yep, yep.
so and so he was selling it and everything. And that Munster was he was trying to make some money off of it. And so he had a meeting with him. He was like, hey, just go ahead, even though this soul food, it was death pretty much. I mean, that's what he was talking about and everything. He was reading that book, by Elijah Muhammad, How to Live to Eat and all that type of stuff. So people was eating it, and notice when they noticed is they was getting lethargic, they was getting angry, they was
Acting like crackheads, right? Acting like
exactly,
crackheads, right?
and they was missing their work and getting violent and stuff like that. It was getting ridiculous to the point now he had to shut it down. And so when he shut it down, then that's when he left and everything. And at once it was able to use that money because the property value was low. The property value was down. And so he was able to use that money and buy it off and profit off of it. And I was just looking like,
well, you remember at the beginning of the
yeah,
thing, he tried to buy the park and they wouldn't let him. It's
yeah,
not the property value was low, they wouldn't let him. So what does he do? Right? So what that Boondocks episode was actually telling you the story of how the FBI put drugs in the black community.
mm-hmm.
Right? Like how they destroy the black community, and then how corporations came behind that black community when it's devastated when you move the black people out of the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they had like nice housing. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And then once the drugs permeated the black community, now you can move them into projects, and now you can buy those said communities. And then guess what you can do now after you move them into those communities, right? Then you can buy up, and then like I'm from Baltimore, right? They tore down the projects when I was like this was like 90, this was like 89, 90, right? Guess what? I went back to Baltimore like 2016. The University of Maryland on one side of Baltimore where all the projects was on the other side of Martin King Boulevard. Nice housing, right? John Hopkins University on the other side, on the east side, has all the nice housing. That's where it was Beirut when I was growing up. Like it was like they would be shooting across the street. Now there's nice housing for doctors and nurses and all this business. The Inner Harbor, I stopped. My wife was looking, what are you doing? I said, there are ducks eating out of the Inner Harbor. At that time, I was 35 years old. I said, there are ducks. There are
crazy.
$1 million yachts by Federal Hill.
You got ducks there, it's some changes.
That's some money. Like, then we went on the other side where I went to go to Fellows Point, right? Where poor white people and Turks and Italians used to live. They ain't there no more. The houses still look the same. These houses used to be $300, $400 rat-infested houses a month. Now they $3,000 a month houses. The outside look the same, but they got chandelier, marble floors, cherry wood banisters, everything. The other side of the Inner Harbor looks like Manhattan, right? I was like, what is this purple, yellow, and blue line? Oh, those are the free buses in the city that will take you to certain places in the city for certain things. I was like, hold on, it's a free bus. Free bus? What are you talking about? I had to pay. Whoa, why are we doing?
Right.
I go down to the old dollar movie theater when me and my homeboy used to go. Like if we had a half a day of school and watch all the movies we wanted to see. We
Yeah.
get there, right, having a good time, eating that stale popcorn. Guess what? Nice movie theater, but it looked like New Orleans down there.
Mm.
But guess what? Guess what? Still Lexington Market, still crackhead central, right? It's like a ghost town where everybody used to shop, where the heck company used to be when I grew up. It's a ghost town. I already know the corporation's going to take that over. But here's the crazy part. You go by the Central District Police Station, that's a block across the street from City Hall. Guess what you see? Nothing but drunkies and whatever, because they got all the strip clubs and all the porn stuff still right there, but it's right on the same block as the Central District Police Station.
Mm.
Right? So what does that tell you? What that tells you is this. Your vote means absolutely nothing unless you got money to lobby and back something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the question that I want to ask. No one's asking this question because I looked around and I waited. Where's the Honorable Louis Farrakhan? Where's Al Sharpton? Where's Jesse Jackson? Where's Dr. Umar? Where's Dr. Umar? Where's Tariq Nasheed? Why ain't they out there doing these protests and talking about it? Why ain't they in charge? Where they at? Where's Boyce Watkins? Where's all of these pro-black B1? Where's the Hebrew Israelites? Where's the leader for them? Where are they at?
They've been making memes about EC, but I did a video. I don't know if you watched. I did a video about Dr. Umar Johnson. I said, did he lose passion about his Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey school? I'm not gonna get into all that because that was a long video.
We ain't gonna even talk about that. What I want to talk about is where y'all at.
These people,
where the leadership? Where the leadership? Where's the leadership? Where's this? We need to rise up against the white supremacy and blah, 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 blah. Where y'all at? Where y'all at?
Or is it something that they know that we don't know? I don't know.
No. They know it.
Yeah.
Listen, they know it because someone told me like, no, they was talking about it, and they are they're over there with they're in Atlanta talking to the mayor and all the leaders and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, here's the thing. The epicenter of this protest did not start in Atlanta. Hold on, bad narrative today. White guys are launching into space. Brothers don't.
Wait. I'm a pit. That's funny. Bad narrative. White guys launching.
Yeah,
he right though. I mean,
oh. President Trump said, "I'm going to Kentucky to watch SpaceX launch." Right?
SpaceX launch.
I'm going to Kentucky.
Bro, I was reading an article, bro. I was like, "Damn, this nigga."
Wait a minute, you going to Kentucky? That's taxpayer money. Hold on, wait a minute. Why you going? Oh, because they about to run up on the White House in D.C. You got to get up out of there.
Exactly, and so the SpaceX. See, and I was told that they know this America, especially this Earth, is going to be to shit. They like, we're gonna take our political leaders, our powerful leaders, let's go somewhere else and let's repopulate. Let's be somewhere safe. They got bunkers. It's a lot of shit, man.
I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this, right? Have you ever see that show, The 100?
The 100, I heard of it.
It's actually a pretty good show. I watched the first season, pretty good. All right, so pretty much of the 100s, they had a nuclear holocaust. They sent the best of the best into the International Space Station, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 100 years since they've been up there, right? So because of nuclear fallout or whatever, right? So what happened is with 100 is if you do something on the space station, right? Because they got limited supplies. If you do it as a kid, like as a juvenile, they put you in lockup, then they let you out. If you do it again as an adult, they put your ass in the airlock and kick your ass out and kill you. Like they depending on what it is. So what happened is the pretense of this is the girl's father found out that they're running out of oxygen. Right? Like the oxygen the oxygen refreshers are not working no more in the International Space Station, and they can't fix it. And they got to get down. So her mother And the leader of everybody, the president of the space station, basically killed the father off because he was about to put that information out because it was going to cause a mass panic, right? So she finds this out. They put it on lock and key. So what they do is they grab up all 100 of the kids that cause problems, right? That cause problems. And they sent them down to the earth. But what actually happened was they was actually saving the kids in retrospect because they sent them down to the earth because the earth wasn't that radiated no more, and they knew they was going to run out of oxygen up there, and the space station was going to blow up because of the hydrogen levels was going to go through the roof, right?
Yeah, okay, I'm about to watch that.
Yeah, it's a good show. The first season, they show everything they're going through, but yeah, he's hog and cheese. Yeah, so what I was getting to with this is that if they go out to space, go ahead, go, because when they came back down, there was still people left there, and them people survived. And actually, the Earth actually refreshed itself. Now there was some radiation here and there, and certain things got out of hand, and they had stuff that was growing that they haven't seen since the prehistoric age and stuff like that. But them people were surviving. They was doing their thing, right? They was doing their thing, right? So it's go out there.
You'll be all right. You come back. It's gonna be.
You know what it's gonna be like? See, I watch anime too, man. So you know what it's gonna be like? Yes. It's gonna be like Gundam, right? The moon people versus the earth people, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it's gonna be like, man. They're gonna be there. Like, did you see that Elon Musk thing?
Yes.
Did you see the Elon Musk thing? All right, so they was asking Elon Musk if they're going to Mars, he should be the king of Mars. Right? And they was like, you know, what type of government? He said, I would like a majority rule government versus a representative government, because that's what we have right now. Democracy is a representative government where you have representatives, but I think it's a majority rule government, blase, blase, blah. And he was talking about, you know, a law. It should be hard to put a law in place, but rather easier to remove a law in place. And whatever, you know, he's just giving his groundwork, right, and stuff like that, right? And with a lot of stuff that he said made sense in theory, but he keep forgetting about humans. Humans are people, right? Humans will find a way to skirt the system, right? When people talk about equality, like we want equality, okay, this is equality. You go to work, you come home. Somebody try to take your stuff, you can defend yourself.
True.
Do what you're supposed to, you mind your business, you come up with something. You do what you need to do and whatever. That's equality. Everybody get the same thing, but we're not equal. I'm 5'7". I wasn't born 6'2", 6'4", 285 pounds, and can run a 40 and a 4.4. If that was the case, we would all be 6'7", 280, running a 40 and a 4.2. And we would just be average, right? I'm below average. I can't play in the NBA. If I had the skill set, yeah, you know, there was Muggsy Bowles and stuff like that, right? But guess what? You know, and guess what? But here's the thing, right? In the bodybuilding community, the dudes that won the Olympia for the last 5 to 8 years have been below 6 feet. Most people don't know that. They don't know that. They think these guys are like 6'2". They look like monsters. But if you actually next to Ronnie Coleman, he's actually a pretty short dude. Like he's not that tall. So everybody has gifts and talents and equal. If everybody wanted to be equal, everybody would be one skin shade. Everybody be one skin shade, right? But I'm dark. I can deal with the heat. You know what I'm saying? My white counterparts have to actually put on sunscreen. They get sunburned.
Oh shoot, man. I got some stuff to take care of, man. I didn't think it was gonna be this is gonna be too long. I appreciate everybody on Facebook. I think my aunt was watching, man. My best friend from high school watching. It's cool, good stuff, man.
You dual streaming, right? Facebook.
Yeah. You know, I got family members watching. They're like, "Oh, sure, I know you know," but it is what it is, man. But hey, I appreciate you, Justin. We're gonna get you more on here more. I'm gonna probably get on your channel too sometimes. I know you do a lot of work on there.
I just want something just once a week. You know what I mean? I do my little show thing. I'm probably just gonna do like maybe I'll pick another day out of the week to just do an open panel, just a kickback chill. I might decide to do like a Monday show or something like that.
Monday show. Yeah, because I do this. I've been doing this like every day, and it's a lot, but
Yeah,
it's
you gotta
it.
take a day off, man. You gotta take a day off, man. You gotta
Yeah,
take
I'm
a day
looking like
off.
man. No, because some people look like, no, you gotta be on here every freaking day.
No, 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 no. Do you go to work every day? Do you go to work every day? Do
I
you
mean,
like
because of COVID, dog. Yes,
you,
but yeah,
this would my only suggestion I would just tell you is the best time because the best thing to do, right? This is the best thing to do. Even if
yeah,
it comes off the top of your head, like just right then and there, you want to do
yeah,
it, right? The best thing to do um is if you can get your thoughts together and get the research together and actually present it, pick a day, or if you're going to do it like every day or twice a week or whatever, pick
yeah,
a time where it's consistent that you know that people will watch, people will pay attention, and then you can do it. And then so you don't burn yourself out. I would say twice a week if that. If you
yeah.
just want to get something off your chest, then
Mhm.
just just let everything come to you and say, you know what? I just want to talk about this and get it off the chest or whatever. Or what you could do is some pre-recorded content just to put it out there. And then people can watch it at their leisure, because live streams, there's a lot of moving parts with live streams
Oh
and
man, but don't get me wrong, because like I'm pretty sure you do too.
yeah,
You get a lot of messages like, "Hey man, something going on in the world. It's an article on what you." I feel like a damn news reporter a lot, but it's
it's cool though. I'm like, but if you want to get
yeah,
like, listen, there's multiple ways to get into politics and into civics, right?
right,
And like when I turned in and I watched, I was like, oh yeah, okay. You give your opinion, but you state it's your opinion, which is your choice, and this is your platform. You can say whatever you want and do
right,
whatever you want within the guidelines of YouTube, right? But it's up to you what you want to do, right? And it's
right.
up to you how you want to present it. And if people are hitting you up because they maybe can't, or they don't have the voice, or they're not articulate enough, because I noticed that you don't use a lot of superlatives when you talk. You're very calculated in what you say, and it's very warm in what you're saying, and people like how you present it, right? And
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing, right? And I think you should do it more. But you know, if you're going to do it, right? Because you got other stuff to do in your life. Just pick a day or two out the week. And sometimes it's good to connect with other people and then have them do the work where you can just sit up there and run your mouth and you ain't got to do all the bells and whistles and move
Oh yeah,
stuff.
I do that. I do that with my mentor, BMT. I do that
Yeah,
because he be on he be telling me to be consistent because people do respect consistency. I know that because he go on about just about every day and
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
BMT, yeah, he goes on every day, man. Like,
Yeah, I look
but
like damn, bro. That boy, I think he on one right now. But yeah, man.
I listen, man. I'm busy. I got stuff to do. Even if
Yes.
I got stuff to do, I got nothing to do. I'll jump on people's panels that I
Oh
deem.
yeah.
Even if we have differences of opinion, I'm not for all the rah-rah, arguing, spewing. Getting all rowdy with people. I'm done with that. Um, I'm no for real, man. Because I'm like, there's no solutions, right?
It's
There's no.
draining. Yeah, that's why I try not to participate in debates too much. But if I have to, I'll defend myself. But it's just like it's just draining. I'm
I ain't
like,
I ain't debating you, man. Like, listen,
yeah,
ain't nothing I gotta debate. Listen, the conversation is over with the second that you say, I believe, okay, cool. The conversation is now the over, right? Not
right.
over in the sense that we need to stop talking, it's over. Because I'm not gonna debate, like, listen, if you say that you believe in something, and if I start talking and you start changing that belief, then you really didn't believe in it. So I subverted you. I basically made you submit your beliefs, right? Now,
Mm,
I'm
yeah,
expecting you to push back. Even if I bring you empirical data and evidence that proves that what you believe in is wrong, you're not supposed to budge off of that belief system one iota. And if you do, I'm gonna lose respect for you as a man. And now I'm just using you as content for the crowd, right?
yeah.
Because the crowd, if the crowd knows you're crazy, crowd don't. So either way, you in a lose-lose situation. I'm not going to debate somebody when they start talking about belief. Now we're talking about facts. We're talking about facts. It's facts versus facts. Your belief is your belief, and you have your God given right. If a white person believes that black people are monkeys and all this extra stuff, that's their God given right. But that doesn't mean there won't be no consequences that needs to come down from that. You can keep that to yourself. You can have your own private church of we serve the God of black people or monkeys. You can do that all day you want on whatever.
Right.
I come to the store and you give me proper service and you do everything within your power to serve me properly. Ain't nothing I can say. I can't say anything because you're doing your job, right? I don't know what you believe in, but the second you
True.
open up your mouth and tell me that, then why did you believe in it if you change it and reversing course on it? You know why? Because you're now in a better place now, or your job is coming under fire now, or was you really believing in it, or it was the popular thing to do?
True.
All of that
That's
is so
very
much
true.
mitigating factors. So I don't debate people, right?
Yeah,
When it
same.
comes to belief,
Yeah.
I don't do that. I like to learn.
I guess I used to, yeah, I guess I used to do that with my beliefs in Christianity and stuff. And it's been the point used to be here. They used to want to moderate me out their panel. I'm looking like, so but you asking me questions, and I'm just saying, like, listen,
I
if you
don't.
want to get that, like I was saying, if you want to get that heat, I'm gonna come back. I'm not gonna just be passive. So I'm looking like you know. I remember one dude, I still follow him. I ain't gonna name his name. I still follow him. He was like, man, moderate young league out of here, man. You know, we was going back and forth. So it's funny, man. But yeah, the
I like
basis.
even, yeah, even religion, man. Like my family nothing preaches, and they got like we got like I think if I think about it, like my mom when she died, she was a minister.
Okay.
I'm like she actually went to theology school and actually got licensed. So
Okay.
like my aunt, she's a minister. My uncle's a pastor. Like we got a family church in South Carolina, family church in Baltimore. Well, we got three family churches in Baltimore. Like it's nothing but ministers and preachers and stuff like that, all in my family, right? So
Mhm.
and here we go, right? So you ask me like, what denomination? Apostolic, holiness, you know what I'm saying, Southern Baptist, all of that, right? You know what I mean? I used to sit around and watch them at Thanksgiving, the whole family, their family reunions, right? You would think they was arguing about who was Cowboy fans versus Patriot fans. They arguing about theology and doctrine. Like, should women be able to preach? Should the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost? You know what I mean?
You
Who should
looking
get the
right
Holy
here.
Ghost? Who should you be more of a learner than you're shouting too much in church? You're not learning enough. What about the finances and all this other stuff? But you know what's the crazy part? The people that treated me the worst in my life were them. So this
I get
is
what you're
that
saying.
catch
Yeah.
22, right? Right,
Yeah.
where you see certain things, and in certain part, not all of them, some of them, and some of them, whatever. And what I had to realize is this, and this is what I ask all people when you talk about religion: Are you religious? Or are you spiritual?
Mm.
And if they say I'm religious, conversation over. Let's move on,
You going to the
right?
customs and
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because now you're trying to convert me to your form of religion. I ain't got nothing to say to you,
Open
right?
doors. Yeah.
But if you say you're spiritual, okay, now you're actually talking about the spiritual circumference of your religion. So I'm willing to hear you out.
Well, I
Oh, this
believe that, like,
is
always follow like example. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the
so it's the
spirituality of
customs. Yeah,
yeah,
because people, then I'm gonna end it right here. But people, it's people will respect you more if you the stuff that you do, saying your examples, and you utilizing your gifts and talents to impact others. you
yeah,
know that's what that is. Instead of just saying, hey, no, this is what you need to do, you need to do this and do that. Like, I mean, like, and you not following up what you're saying. It's a lot of hypocrisy that goes on when you follow strict religious traditions, I believe, as well. And that actually would kind of cut you off from a lot of people look at you like, wait a minute, like, you don't even honor all the laws that's in your book that you preach, but you trying to come down and condemn me. And that's a lot of issues that we got to go in. But that's for here and there. But just DeAndre, I got some friends from
appreciate it.
talk to my possible. I appreciate you on here, man. I'm
Appreciate
gonna
it, man.
I'm gonna get you on here to next probably soon. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe to my boy Just DeAndre channel, man. For real, he's a good brother. And
Yeah, man.
thank you, man. I learned a lot from you, man. Thank you.
Man, you be safe out there, man. You be
Yeah.
safe. You know what I'm saying? Be safe. You know, if you got to protect your household, protect it.
Most definitely.
You
Most
know what I'm
definitely.
saying? With a
We in,
team
we in
purpose. So,
America. We going through it, man.
yeah, I
We in
know, man.
America.
You know what I'm saying? Be safe out there, man. And appreciate it once again, man. Definitely got to get up. I got to get you on the show, or we'll just do an impromptu, you know, so you can relax and just talk.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. All
All
right,
right,
brother.
y'all. Good night, y'all. Yeah, good night for y'all. Peace,
Good
man.
night, man.